Okay. I'm not planning to be here that long. Well, I shouldn't have said that, but hopefully somebody will come in here. We'll see what's up. Good evening, everybody. I hope you all and whoever listens to the playback, hope you're having a good evening. If you had your day off, that's great. I hope you had a lot of rest, relaxation, and you were able to maybe see your family or whatnot, whether in reality or virtually. Virtual reality is becoming the reality right now. So, what's going on, Randy, DJ Moss? How are y'all doing? Yeah, a lot of people probably watching the near attack of Agent Orange by them flags while he doing his speech. We sit here hoping one of the flags fall over and hit his ass in the head or something, but allegedly. But I just wanted to come and say hello. If there's anything anybody wants to talk about, that's cool. I put up a video earlier, excuse me, and it was just something on my mind because I know a lot of people are talking about, COVID and everything right now, but there's a lot more to discussing the conspiracies and everything. Oh, thank you, Randy. You make a lot of good comments too, so I appreciate that. I try my best to be accurate. That's all I can really do. And I try to make things simple for people to understand it. That's a goals of mine. Make it simple and, be very clear, accurate with what I got to say. Hopefully you'll, have time, or you'll if it suits you, maybe you'll come on a hangout or a chat or something one day. But I appreciate y'all being here. So I was talking about the mutation earlier in the video, just because I think it's important to go more in depth towards the mechanism of this virus, and not just we know that it has a high mortality rate. That's very obvious. We know there are comorbidities that contribute to the increased number, frequency, and even intensity of symptoms that you have after you're infected. We understand that, and we also know there are several major organs affected by the virus. But looking at it at a very small level, which is mutations, I think that's important too. And I wanted to look for that because of what Dr. Dunbar said about the G6PD, that being a deficiency. So another pathology. So that's why I was like, well, let me see what other mutations are out there. There's quite a few, and I still have a lot of researching to do on that. What's going on, Tampa Supreme? But y'all want to talk about other stuff, that's cool with me. I do more than just, talk about science and everything, tech. There are a lot of other things that I talk about, like the other video I put up about Angela. Oh, Lord. The whole gynocracy and relationships, that's very important as well. And understanding what that really means. And when you see an example of it in your face, being able to stamp that shit out quick. Like, what the hell is this woman doing? You know, I guess because I work at a lot of things that are very logical, when I see something that's illogical, it just really it pisses me off. You know, but I have to remember she is a woman, and that's how a lot of us are. And it was clearly not one of our best moments with her talking about stuff. But anyway, what did y'all think about that? About the lady Angela Stanton King and what she was saying in any of the videos? Because she said a lot of bullshit. She said a whole lot of bullshit. I guess y'all didn't feel anything about that. So y'all didn't have a problem with what she said, any of those videos, any of the interviews that she was giving? Because I had a big problem with it. Clearly, I made a video about it. But I wasn't talking just about her. I was talking about that type of personality. That type of person is very unreachable and annoying to me. I just don't like people like that who are assuming that everything they say, people are going to just hold on to it and just act like it's the truth, like they're God or something. No, the stuff you said didn't make no dang sense. I know a lot of other people are live too, so I get why people aren't really coming in. That's cool. Well, I'm not that good at chemistry, Randy. So you got me, I'm not trying to, beat nobody. It's just, it is what it is. I just hope that I can convey the message in an easy way. There's a lot of things with chemistry that I don't understand. I'm still learning on that because I did not like chemistry class at any level. So they were like, you got to take another chemistry class. Like, again? Why? I just took one last semester. I could take one again. Dang. No, that was not my thing. Chemistry and physics, I just didn't. It wasn't just not my thing. I think it's because I couldn't. Like it's kind of hard to manipulate stuff with chemistry. It's kind of hard to, it is what it is. And I was always afraid I was gonna blow something up. So I was like, I don't know about this. We'd always have somebody in our group who was like really, really smart. Right now they're a chemist, or professor or something. But at the time we were in classes, they were like the smartest person in chemistry. And they always knew all the answers, and they'd like help us learn the little tricks of the trade, I guess, or figuring it out faster. I was like, oh, okay. So it's like people who have different ways of learning. People have different things that they, do better than others. That's fine. And I was listening to, speaking on the Angela Stanton King video that I was doing, I was listening to Bishop Red Pill's stream earlier. I was actually going to Walgreens. I had just finished making some chicken tacos. Them chicken tacos is good as hell too. Don't sleep. I got skills. I got some good cooking skills. So I made chicken tacos. We had peppers, onions, tomatoes. We had a little lettuce sprinkled in there, everything. And a special sauce, all that. And but I had to go do my Walgreens run. So while I was going, I was listening to Bishop Red Pill. He has some good points though. I really appreciate his streams. His content is great. If you haven't already, if you watch this replay, go to Bishop Red Pill's channel, subscribe, hit that like button on his videos, watch his videos, hit that notification bell so you'll have your butt in the seat when he goes live or posts videos. He had a really good stream. I didn't have any issue with it because he was very diplomatic, and that's something I'm trying to do. Right. Right, Randy. You know, and one of his talents, like, funny you just mentioned that, one of his talents is just laying it all on the line. Like, you know, he may have a certain feeling about doing that, but he just lays it on the line. It is what it is, you know, take it or leave it. And I like that type of, I like that attitude. That's a good way of going about things, because it's just the truth. Like, either you're gonna accept it or not. And he's very logical with his um, assessments of a lot of different topics. You know, being honest about a certain situation or a certain topic, that's important. And I see 4 people watching, or I guess it will be 3 people watching. Even though it's just a few people, can y'all hit that like button? Or it says 7 on my phone. But yeah, hit that like button. What's going on, my Kim? How you doing? Yeah, I was it's funny that you just popped up. I was thinking about some of the stuff that you were saying. What's going on, 2Triv 211? You were saying about vaccines and stuff. Yeah, the vaccine, I don't know. It's a touchy subject. It's a real touchy subject. I was having a discussion about that today. And while I was having a discussion, I was thinking about stuff you were saying too. It's funny you just popped up. Yeah, I'm back trying to do a little at a time because I have more time now. I still got my job, but I have more time now, meaning that it's kind of bittersweet because it's, different shutdown. The shutdown was happening. I was having more time to focus and, read through articles and see what I want to present. So I think the format is going to be like have a video on some topic and then, do a stream or something on that topic or whatever and go from there. But yeah, what I was saying earlier about Bishop Red Pill, not just him, it's other people that have the same personality, that same level of character. Of course, Kendra has that level of character, Shango as well, Grinch, BGS, of course. They have a lot of the spirit of truth, and just it's just there. You don't have to believe it, but it is what it is. You don't have to like it, but it's still gonna be there. I might be short. Like, I don't like the fact that I'm short. Well, the truth is your ass is short. Get over it. Just face it and try to deal with it. Manage your life around that situation. There's definitely a divide on vaccines. Yeah, there's a divide on it. I was watching a video by Peak Prosperity sent to me, and I was just like, okay. I was listening to his video the first time, but I was reading the chat the second time and not looking at the video to get an idea of his audience, because a lot of times your audience can be reflective of you in a way, if you know what I mean. So the audience, it was divided, very divided in the audience, like, oh, vaccines, yay or nay, yeah, back and forth, positive, negative. And so I don't know. I know there's vaccines, the mRNA vaccine they want to try. I know that there is, well, it's clinical trial now, but it won't be finished until next year, like next fall, 2021. So that's an option. But as far as the mechanism of that vaccine, I'm not too sure. I still need to read. It's a huge trial. They're doing like all these different experiments in the trial. But I'll try to see what's up and convey that message to you, as comprehensively, but as easy as I can. You know what I mean? What's going on, Officer Charles? Woo! How are you doing? Randy said I'm 5'9". Hi, I'm sure. Okay, you short. Okay. Well, I don't know. It depends, I guess. Depends on. I guess it depends on where you are. What's going on, LaShawn? Yeah, LaShawn. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. You be going in on some of them streams, man. Okay, you're healing. Yeah, I heard it. I heard you talking on one of the streams, Charles. Sprained ankle with 2 fractures. Ooh. Wow. I'll be praying you have a safe recovery. With everything going on. Oh my goodness. You gotta be careful. Yeah, see, you can't. I don't know, Randy, but he said I'm 5'10", 280. I'm well. Yeah, Charles, be careful. You know, I forget the supplement. I think it was glucosamine chondroitin was one of the supplements my mother took because she had it was something with her heel. It wasn't a heel spur. She actually had like a sprained heel. The bone around the heel area was sprained, and some issues with her toes. She had like surgery. It's called kryptonite. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, LaShawn was like, go easy while doing the rehab. Yeah, and that's what I was about to say because she was going through rehab, and she was rushing and ended up re-injuring herself. So, but yeah, you know what's up with that. And I heard about your friend when you were talking about your friend. That's real sad. My heart goes out to people that are dealing with COVID. I've seen people dealing with it, and it's yeah, it's real hard. So I appreciate you sharing that with us, though. You said it's great for healing ligaments. Another thing great for healing ligaments, and you probably gonna laugh, Charles, is horse liniment. I know you're gonna laugh. It's called veterinarian liniment, and they use it on horses. And we used to use it as kids. Now I don't know, they have it. Some people might be like, "What?" Yes, horse liniment. We used to use horse liniment. We had like sprains or any kind of bruise, anything like that. And I'm calling it horse liniment. It's called veterinarian liniment. It's in an orange bottle. You can get it like a feed and seed shop or something. It's pretty cheap. It's like we were younger. It was like $6-7. But that worked for us, and it really took the pain away, and in a short period of time, because they obviously use it for horses that are performing and everything, and we used it mostly in the winter. But it was like instead of all these ointments and stuff, we had that, and it didn't burn the skin, so that was why it's probably why we used it so much. But that worked. I know they probably got other products out there, but this is not prescription. You just walk in the store, buy it, walk out. You're good. So, or have somebody walk in the store, buy it, and walk out for you. I know you got somebody on deck that'll do that for you, no problem. But get well, definitely, Randy. To Charles, he's saying that to him, 2 fractures. Yes, to get well soon, definitely. They need you back out there on the beat. That stuff good. It'll numb up the area. Yeah. What's going on, King Wage? Bishop Red Pill, how you doing? Thank you for the stream earlier. Yeah, that is crazy. The fact that you got that kind of pain. But yeah, y'all send out heart emojis to Officer Charles. Send out the heart emojis. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. Surgery, Charles. Oh, did he have surgery? What's going on, BGS? How are you doing, sir? Did you not have, hold on. Matter of fact, you did, Charles, you better had surgery already. You know what? I should fly your behind out here. Do surgery on you out here. Yes, he needs surgery. I didn't know you didn't have surgery. Charles, what the hell? Now I'm all mad. Charles, what the hell? Why you ain't had no surgery? You know you're supposed to have surgery, man. You can't. Ooh, no. My mom had surgery, and it, like I said, she re-injured it, so she was extra careful. But that's that's not good, man. I'm about to put the oops. I'm about to put the link in here. So if anybody wants to show up, it's fine with me. And like I said, we don't have to talk about science. You can talk about whatever you want. If you want to talk about science, that's fine too. I don't care. But it is what it is. But you need to get some surgery. Are you scared? Are you scared that they gonna be cutting on you? Is that what it is? You scared? I can't have you out here limping like that. That's not cool, man. Limping like a broke down pimp. What's going on, BGS?
Hey, how's my girl today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. What are you doing on a live stream at that?
Oh, I was on here. I was like, if there's anything people want to talk about, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And now he gonna show us broke down pimp. Looking behind up now. What's going on?
You gonna show the boot? The boot.
Yeah, where's the boot?
Yeah. That I can outrun you now, Charles. I slap you up the side of the head and run now, man.
Oh, you muted. You muted, Charles.
I ain't afraid of you no more, man. I can slap you upside the head and run. You're muted, Charles.
You're muted.
Can you outrun a bullet that goes 2,500 feet per second?
Oh God!
I can bob and weave.
You can't be out here, LaShawn said your shirt. You make every shirt look small.
Yeah,
extra. You said you make every shirt look small, extra small.
This is actually a 2X.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is on everybody else.
I just want you to get better. I had a boot on in the middle of the summer in Atlanta. Shin splints and fracturing. Yeah.
I've had shin splints. I've never had fracturing.
I had fracturing down just above my foot, at just below the calf, and I was like, wow, it was crazy. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do anything.
How you get shin splints? That's were you running at the time on
a lot? Yes,
okay.
Running a lot.
Okay. That
yeah.
I can only do like upper body, just exercises.
Yeah, I fell downstairs. I was very pissed at myself, and I got up and I was like, man, forget this. And then later on that day, I just fell. Like I was like, what is going on with my leg? Like it was not good.
Yeah, I haven't heard of shin splints since I was in high school. And I ran track in high school.
Right.
So you had to be running on the sidewalk.
Like, oh my God.
They hurt like hell.
Oh yeah. And it was something I was ignoring. I just kept ignoring it, and then my leg was like, "Nah, sit your ass down. Sit down. You can't do no more."
It's funny. I've been avoiding injuries like all my life. Like, goddamn, I thought I could make it to a fourth decade.
Nope.
Freak accident, huh?
Right.
And you can't stop as big as you can't stop a truck with your bare hands, man.
As much as you want to.
As much as you are not the man of steel as much as he's your spirit animal.
Oh.
That's not what she says.
Huh? Yeah, but ask that foot of yours.
Yeah, he'd be like,
Uh,
he'd be like, sit your ass down.
You know, it's funny. My homeboy was like, "Wow, you're a walking Black History Month." Uh, fact. What? You the first motherfucker to actually break your foot off somebody's ass.
No.
not the first, just the latest.
Mhm.
Uh,
What Ric Flair used to say, the latest and the greatest.
Mm.
yeah, you have to be careful, man. Out here, especially, and you gotta get some surgery. You know, just
Yeah,
saying,
that's what,
while you're out
that's
here,
what
you know, get you hooked up. You know, I'll read a couple books real quick on how to do the surgery, and then be you hooked up for a minimal fee, and a couple paperwork you got to sign.
Mhm.
Non-disclosure, all that. But don't worry about all that. You'll be back to normal. And we'll have a tracker on you. You'll be good.
a tracker.
Tracking everything.
Just do me some favor. Just go in the lab and give me some of that super soldier serum.
she it's not ready for the market yet. She's not supposed to talk about it yet.
No, not
No.
yet.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's they have it. I mean, they're doing similar surgery. I wouldn't be doing the surgery. It would be a robot doing it. But to have you out here just to make sure everything goes well and recovery.
I can see it now.
Special drinks.
I can see it now. The $6 million. I can see it now. The $6 million.
Oh, what happened? Okay,
No.
dropped off. It dropped off. I'm gonna edit my community page. I put your link in there. I'm gonna say, okay, where are my COVID naysayers at? Because when you and Dr. Dunbar on there, they never showed up.
Yeah, and you know what? I was looking at a stream with you were talking to I think it was Ramil.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was watching this earlier this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what is this dude talking about? Like, he was saying, I don't agree with a lot of things he say anyway, but and maybe he and I can discuss this specifically, but he was just like not making any sense. Like, you were saying, okay, you want to sacrifice like almost 13 million people. Is that what you want to do? Like, well, I just got to see it. I got to see it happen. What? I got to believe it. Like, well, don't you see? Like, I didn't even need to see a body drop. All I needed to see was, oh, that's the type of virus it is. Like, I was like, okay.
Well, you, because I said, yeah, you when you said it, then I believed it, because I was right after really that in the Chinese AK-47s guard the entrance to the city, those things. Okay, I said, okay, let me run this by Nicole and see if this is really a thing, and see what.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, now it really is. In my mind, I gotta do something. We gotta do something.
This is what is it? Contagion level event here.
It's not weaponized.
Well, that's what she said. That's what Nicole said. It's not weaponized. So she said,
I don't think so. I think it's low grade. I remember saying that with we were on
Art Stream, and he said there wasn't a payload in it.
Yeah, there was not. It's not like that, because they wouldn't be able to have like all these different arms and clinical trials that they're doing, all the different doses that they're trying to do for mRNA vaccine. About earlier with Lipsor on the email, and I was like, yeah, they wouldn't be able to do all that if they wouldn't be able to do all that. I don't think, because they wouldn't have gotten access to do a lot of the sequencing and reversing the sequences that they've done.
Yeah,
because now they've done like preclinical work with mice and model systems, and now they're like, forget all that, we're gonna move straight into humans. Because they forget all that, meaning like, we've done that, been there, done that, we see that, we've done this and that, let's move on to humans. And that's what they're doing. Like right now, they're doing the trial.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to answer your question. Well, not even. It wasn't even a question. It was just a statement. You could tell someone who's never been in command or in charge of any damn thing in their life. They said, "Oh, I got to see when you're in command or you're supervising something, you don't want to see. The last thing you want to see is something. You have to play containment
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people, like I told BG, I saw the National Guard's been out here for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we have one literally downtown by Martin Luther King, the 5th Regiment Armory. So they were mobilizing a lot of trucks and a lot of equipment. So people, excuse me, my ex-girlfriend was like, well, it's all fake. That's not what one of my best friends said. You know, for 3 weeks, he said I would never wish this on my worst enemy.
Yeah. The fact that you said that is something that I was thinking too, like when I was looking at a lot of the data, and I'm talking about data before it was published, and now published data. I was like, no, I would definitely not wish this on my worst enemy. Like the things that people are going through, the fact that you have physicians telling you two things. The fact that you have physicians telling you back in February and March that they are seeing so many patients just throwing up vanilla milkshake. Like that's what it looks like, when there's so much mucus built up. And the second thing is seeing doctors and seeing nurses and stuff just so stressed out and them getting sick too. That I was like, I could, because they taking home their families and not knowing it. Like when they realize you can be asymptomatic, that's when it really, wow, that's something different. That's another reason why I was like, okay, every little piece of the puzzle made me feel like, okay, this is not natural. I didn't want to get mad or anything, or like I'm not gonna get mad about it, but I wasn't gonna say anything disrespectfully or anything negative to Dr. Dunbar. He has his right to his opinion. He thinks it's natural, and I'm like, hey, I need to see the evidence because I don't see that as natural. And even if Ramil thinks it is natural, he may watch this, I don't know. But or even if he thinks it's natural or not, he's saying it's not that bad. Okay. Sit down.
What it's saying because I hear that all the time that it's not that bad and it's like the regular flu and it's natural. I said, okay. I said I have an expert that designs things like this. Okay. So even if you don't design this particular beast, you design other things, and and you can recognize the components,
right?
And even what's his name, that Chris Mortensen that does Peak Prosperity, right?
Yeah.
He actually went over the cutouts that actually were actually added to this beast,
right?
That couldn't occur naturally. And
right.
So we'll say that's exactly what Nicole said. I said the way the components that make up this beast don't seem like they came out of from a natural occurrence.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's what I was looking at, and I was like, the fact that he broke that down, it just confirmed a lot of things for me because, we as scientists, we confirm things, doctors, and everything confirm things. But then you see the public propagating the truth, propagating, that type of information that's accurate. That's important.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Darth. What are we gonna call you, Darth Dunbar?
Yeah, I think Dr. Bissell gave me something like pharma cash or something.
Hey, I feel like the least educated person on the panel right now.
Hey, Officer Faulkner, I've been listening to you for a while. Much respect. I'm a fan. I love hearing about your police stories and all those things.
And my other stories.
Adventures.
Adventures.
Yeah. I can't stay long, but Nicole, when I heard it that you were talking to Ramil, I want to hear about that because.
Oh, I wasn't talking to Ramil.
I was talking to Ramil, and she was
right.
Okay. I have to admit, I enjoy listening to Ramil's commentary, and he's so what's the word I'm looking for? He's so convicted in what he believes.
Yeah.
He is.
I enjoy it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, Ramil is basically a MGTOW that won't claim MGTOW. Because everything. I said, dude. I said, why don't you just claim it, man? Because everything you're talking about as far as lifestyle and women and kind of stuff. I said, that's MGTOW. What are you talking about, man? Just go ahead and claim it. Oh man, but I'm not a MGTOW. Well, why are you doing MGTOW stuff?
He wants to be a Sigma.
Most MGTOWs are Sigmas.
But he's so fire and brimstone and just so hardcore in his beliefs. No,
it's infectious, huh?
Yeah, I'm not. So.
Yeah,
he's funny to me.
I agree. I mean, the fire and brimstone is a nice touch because that's kind of what I felt. Even before that stream, it was another stream that you did with Mermill, BGS, and you know, he was just like, you know, it's just like his tone, his ideology is like, it's just going down. It's going down. It's going down, and we all going down. And that's what I kept hearing. And I was like, dude, come on, man. Like I can't just. It's not all going down, you know. The wealthy firefighter said he's ruthless. Exactly, I'm ruthless. He's ruthless, you know.
He's ruthless. He's ruthless with other people.
I have to respect some aspects of that. Yeah, like Dr. Dunbar said, his convictions. I have to respect that, but also, you have to also be open to other possibilities. You know, when it may be to your benefit. You know, you can still stick to what you're saying, but just be open to other people's point of view, perhaps. You know, especially if they're older than you. You know what I mean? But what do I know?
Because there's been leaders like Mao and Stalin and other people that have sacrificed that many millions of people, right? If you're gonna sacrifice that many millions of people, you better have a damn good reason. Right. You won't be in power very long.
And that was what I kept thinking when he was talking. I said, well, what is the outcome of that much loss of people, loss of human capital? What is the outcome of that? How do you come back from that? You know, what are you artificial wounds? Are you going to do something with that? Or
you know what the outcome of that would be on a militaristic scale? You would have the country splinter in like 5 to 10 different little sections.
Yeah, because.
Go ahead.
I was going to be because it's like playing. You know, it's one thing if it's a military campaign, you know where the bullets are firing. But something like a contagion, it's a lottery. You know, you don't know who has it, or who's going to be affected by it, who's going to drop. So everybody's going to run and run for the hills and run inside. You get a million people drop, it's going to scare people. Like I remember I was talking to a friend of mine, right? Because they don't believe it's real, and it basically the flu kills more people than that. Even though I debunked that like 5 seconds, but I said you don't believe it's real, but Ebola has killed at its peak killed less than 6,000 people, but you don't doubt Ebola.
Yeah,
and you never seen anybody with Ebola. You believe it wholeheartedly, huh?
Yeah, with the first SARS, there's two things that are different between this and first SARS. First SARS, around 8,000 people infected. Or a little over 800 people died. But with the people who were infected, they had symptoms. Number one, they had symptoms. So there was not an asymptomatic population that would recover, get reinfected, and then perhaps it's a coin toss whether you're going to be asymptomatic or not the second time. And the second difference is the speed of transmission and speed of mutability. Because mutability, I think, can regulate transmission because they're noticing a lot of microRNA mutations in India now in the hospitals. A lot, not mRNA, microRNA mutations that are occurring at amino acid levels, or even at the at amino acid levels where you have a point mutation, changing one amino acid for another, or at the RNA DNA. That regulates that microRNA.
So if you have mutations, something mutates this fast, and it has slight changes, how can you really make a vaccine for it?
Exactly. Hold on 1 minute. I want to say thank you for coming. Everyone in the chat, please hit that like button. The Black Brain Trust, much respect to you, Black Brain Trust, because I get a lot of information from you guys. Y'all don't even realize. And I share it with my colleagues. and we go back and forth. We argue, cuss each other out, and everything about your content. So you don't even know how you're helping. But much respect to you for keeping everything going with your channel. Crimson Cure, Kendra, what's going on? What's going on, Leonard? But yeah, I just had to say what's up to everybody in the chat real quick. But yeah, this virus is different. It's totally different because if you have the mutations that occur, they're occurring, not only are they occurring in like every population that they're studying, but it's occurring with the spike protein, which is very important for the virus to infect you and to continue the infection. So that's a problem too. And I can't remember. I just put it up, or there's a video I'm going to come out with that maybe tonight or tomorrow or something about a study from 2007 with the first SARS, and showing in their materials and methods how to design a virus, like how to design a plasmid to fit your whatever you want to do. They want to study an open reading frame of the virus because they know that the open reading frame of SARS-1 can regulate STAT1. STAT1 is involved in immune system regulation. Thank you, Kendra. I appreciate that. Much love, respect to her. That's a woman right there. No.
A lioness, yeah.
She's a lioness right there.
Killing all the hyenas.
I like her streams. I love her content. But yeah, anyway, that's gonna come out. I have not edited yet, but yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Dunbar. My bad.
No, I was gonna say, well, if the thing is mutating out of control, then doesn't that kind of shift the momentum or the focus to an antiviral drug?
Yes, to antiviral drug. But the trial I was emailing y'all about earlier, it's not a antiviral drug. I know they're talking about remdesivir, and the one I was talking about the other day, the video is a new potential drug they could use using the mRNA, like Don Calypso was saying, as a way to work in antisense or to block viral recognition or to block viral activity. That's a possibility too. That's druggable. But yeah, I think like what you're saying, I agree. Having some type of drug may be the best thing. Vaccine, people need to stop thinking that vaccine is not a treatment. Okay. You can't give a person a vaccine and they get treated. Like if you had a virus, they're not gonna give you the vaccine. It's too late for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless they give you vaccine for another mutation.
another mutation.
Right. Like unless I'm wrong, but what I'm reading, I'm like, that's not how this works. You keep emailing me like, well, why don't you just make a vaccine and then we can? I'm like, what?
The vaccine is so that people will not be afraid to go back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the placebo effect.
Well, yeah, basically, yeah. You got to give them some kind of hope to actually go back to work with. Yeah, because
Go ahead,
no, I was going to say that if what I think what was the name? He was telling me about what's going on in Las Vegas about the hotel workers getting sick and dying, right? And I said if that is true, and this is spread through the hotel workers, Las Vegas, a city could probably be dead because the Strip will be dead without the big hotels.
Yeah.
Without tourism, it's basically going to be a dead city.
So what about the people who say, well, I'm not going to wear my mask so I can build up my immune system?
You know what? I'm gonna have to get that clip from Rocky. I'm just gonna have to get it. Maybe I can get it.
If he dies, he dies.
Hey, there you go. That's it. I'm sorry. Like I know Dr. Dunbar's probably like, oh my goodness.
Well, I was saying,
what?
One other person who's kind of been the kind of this is a hoax type of Dr. Boyce Watkins. He hasn't sounded very convinced that it's real.
Wow.
Because he's a doctor of finance, not medicine.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's a lot of the people in the conscious community are looking for, a grand conspiracy. And I think I said this before because most people want it to be a conspiracy, because if it's a conspiracy or a hoax, then they can just say my bad and it'll go away. Okay, but if it's real and it's like you guys know it to be, it's not going to go away within the 6 months or 18 months or whenever. It'll go away when it goes away. There's no control over it. And I think that's what they're afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
Being a finance person, that makes sense for him to. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the old saying. People rather believe the sensational lie over the simplistic truth.
Yeah, and that's it. And which tells you that people. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier today. We were like, why are people just so hell bent on being so silly? Well, we didn't silly.
They can't wrap their mind. They can't wrap their minds around it. They just can't.
Yeah, but see, our conclusion was, we were having a discussion earlier about this, and I was like, I think the fear, it just becomes part of their life. Mm-hmm. Like they're just like, well, this is my comfort zone. Fear? That's your comfort zone? Mm-hmm. Is that how you're gonna live your life today? Being afraid? No, you need to find out what's really going on, so you can. If it doesn't save you, at least it saves the people coming after you. People that are below you, the next generation, or the people that your children. It may not help you, but at least you'll help others. And they're just like, nope, not doing it. Like I can't get with that. I have to know. Okay. I have experiments I'm running, and it's like I out of 4 experiments for that day, I run 3 times running out, and I'm like, I gotta get on that road, gotta hit that dusty trail. But you know what? I gotta know. I have
to. Because you are a scientist. You gotta know the truth.
Yes,
you and Dr. Dunbar come from a different mindset. Basically, scientists are. It basically is what it is. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Knowing the truth is number one. Like you gotta, that's true. Mm-hmm. That's a testament to our society, I think, in other ways too.
Hey, I gotta jump off in a minute.
Go ahead, Doctor.
I was gonna say I gotta jump off in a minute, but can I ask Officer Faulkner a question about law enforcement?
Sure, go ahead.
Now you're up in Baltimore?
Born and raised.
Okay, yeah, I'm down in Alexandria. So what did you make of or what was the discussion in law enforcement about when that officer knocked that woman out?
Do you want the Officer Faulkner version, or do you want the Charles?
Sure.
Okay, because they're pretty similar. For the first time ever, we're pretty much shaking hands. If Officer Faulkner was there and the woman hit me, it wouldn't have took my partner to hit her, because I'd have laid her out myself. Because at that realm, you took yourself from out of being a woman into being a threat. And if anybody boxed before, just got into a neighborhood brawl and you get hit in the nose, that is one of the most painful places you can be hit. And it's actually debilitating, especially around the bridge of the nose. So if she would have hit me, I'm not being the aggressor. I'm on defense. So even in policy, I'm reading, as a matter of fact, while we're on the panel now, I'm reading a bunch of policies to study for the other tests, to take this test again. Hopefully I get promoted off this test this year, but who knows? Usually if you're showing signs of aggression, police can take you down first, but they're trying to and I understand, because a lot of people have to learn how to de-escalate situations. But when you have a situation like that, when he's trying to place her in handcuffs and she's not cooperating and she strikes, I had no problem with the guy. I actually know the guy who actually struck the female. So he's a great guy. But he did what he's supposed to do. You're supposed to protect your partner.
Interesting.
Now, if there were other ways to go about it, cool. But once you put your hands on somebody, as my parents said, if you hit somebody, expect you get hit back.
Right.
Okay. Well, all right, everyone. I have to get up in the morning, so just want to come up for a minute. And you guys have a good night.
Appreciate you, Dr. Dunbar.
Thank you for coming.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I know a lot of people don't like it. I know a lot of people don't like it when I talk about that. I mean, I'm pretty sure Doc's a very intelligent, logical man. He understands. But
no, I'm glad you say the truth, because then people get an idea, perspective of what police officers go through from your mouth, from you saying it. I know you got a lot of shit up here from people when you first started coming doing streams and stuff. I know you did. You know how I know? Because I listened to the old streams.
Oh yeah.
I listened to when BGS wasn't being a butt.
I love you too.
I understand. I got that. But I remember that, and I was like, what in the world? Even Information Man was giving you problems. I was like, come on, man, like, come on.
You know what the fucked up part about it was? I gave them the smoke back.
You blew the cigar smoke in his face.
Yeah, like motherfuck you. That's how I was. Like, hey, motherfuck you. I just had to do this shit. You gonna tell me that I'm bullshit? I want you to come do this job for one whole day, just one day. And it's funny because I always tell BGS, you probably have the most versatile cast ever. Even not just Black YouTube, but YouTube period. You have scientists, police officers, you have
military, programmers, you name it. You name it, I got it.
I'm pretty sure there's an app for that.
Hey, I even have 5 PhDs in social science. Okay,
what they say, PhD motherfuckers.
PhD motherfuckers. Well, and Dr. Dunbar is basically he's number 6 or 7. So,
yeah, he's in. His area is like, wow. I'm not even gonna put that. I'll just leave that alone.
Wait a minute. Nicole bow down?
Yeah, I'll leave that alone because he deals with a lot of drugs, and I'm an end user when it comes to the drugs and a lot of the technology, and that's why I tried to, like a couple years ago and last year, spend the time getting out of the end user mode and get into the developer mode of a lot of the drugs, and doing the synergy projects and stuff that helps, and and developing the technology to do the work that we're doing now. And that's why I have respect, because I'm like, man, it's chemicals, and he's doing pharmacology and toxicology, determining how toxic something is to the body or a specific organelle within the cell, something like that. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm holistic. I like to look at the whole, organism comprehensively. I don't want to have to break down stuff, but that's necessary nowadays. You have to do that, if you want to move up.
Oh, what do you mean? There's something that you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm teasing.
Yeah,
I'm teasing.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I'm just looking up things that you have to do in pharmacology, because I remember we had a person who was a PharmD in one of my labs, and he was way out there. Like, he knew so much stuff about his own field and our field with biological sciences and molecular biology, and he was like always saying, like, there's a difference between looking at things from a molecular biology standpoint and looking at it for in like a chemical molecular biology standpoint. All you do is you have a cell, you add a drug, and that's the chemical and pharmacy stuff that you're doing. I was like, oh, okay. But he said that's very important, because the base of a lot of the drugs, plant-based or synthetic, that's important to know
Yeah.
what that really means.
And even when it gets to chemistry, because if you take a drug, it's going to break down in the body because it's going to react with everything. You got to know if you don't want to kill people, you got to know how that thing's going to react.
Exactly.
And there's so many different permutations about how any kind of chemical will react in the body, because the body's trying to react to it too, because it's going to see another agents and chemicals added too. So they're actually going to break it down. And what is the end components of these things once they, after 100 iterations of it breaking down, is it going to be something that's going to be toxic and kill people, or it's going to be toxic but it won't be in enough quantity to actually affect people? That's why it's kind of tricky with pharmacology. So I can kind of understand it.
Well,
yeah, that's why. Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
I was gonna say, like, that's speaking of that, because when you said that, it just popped up in my head, that fentanyl. Like, good God.
I'm gonna ask you about that.
And it was funny because I've actually had a call for a fentanyl case, and actually it was on V because I went to go order a pizza, and the lady was working behind the counter, and she just went to sleep, and she was white, so her skin went blue.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And it's either two cases you'll get. You'll get the person who says they're having a burning sensation within their body because they're hotboxing the shit with heroin. Or they'll take the shit straight, and they're just out. Like, they'll stop breathing. You could barely. I don't even think they have a heartbeat sometimes. And it's
because it affects the nervous system. That's why it's so potent, because it affects the sympathetic nervous system. Will just shut it down. So that's how.
And it's like they'll just stop breathing, but that Narcan is like, miracle in a can, because it resurrects their asses. And I'm looking at it like, COVID must be some serious shit if you're not worried about fucking fentanyl right now.
That's what, and that's, what, as an officer, that's what I was assuming a lot of officers, paramedics would probably be saying, and first responders, because the fact that you have first responders out here, like, I don't know what's going on. Like this, I was like, that's how you know. That's how you know it's bad. And they're saying, hey, man, we're not even worried about the drug. What happened to the drugs? Like, where are the drugs? They're gone or something? Like, they're not gone. They're still around, but it's so many people with the COVID, the Rona, that and it has, like I said, it has such a high transmission rate. So people out here saying, like, I don't have to wear a mask. Go ahead and do your thing, dog. I ain't about to. I was dealing with a dude earlier today, and I just put my arm out, like, back up, because he wanted to walk past me. I said, no, you're not. Back up. And he walked around, he walked away, he walked around. I said, I did that to keep you from being affected by me. That's what I told him, just, because that's the only way these dummies will understand. And he was like, oh, looked at me like, and I was like, you think what you want to think. Okay, think what you want to think. And he was like, oh, okay, as if to say, like, oh, she's sick. Oh, she got the Rona, whatever. He ran off.
He wasn't that bold about the Rona.
He was like, oh, just ran away. I said, yeah, get your like, go away. I'm sick. Get out of here. I can't stand people that he didn't have a mask on. That was the whole thing. But in order to get people away from me, that's the only thing I can think to do. I'll say I have a mask on to protect you from me. When you say that, they run.
It's funny that you say that, is because let's say a person's a carrier, right? They may not show the symptoms. How do you don't know if something that I'm carrying can't just kill you off or some shit? Like you're gonna become infected, and it basically makes, like you said, a chemical or a biological reaction. I'm like, that's actually one of the scariest parts of being a police officer. And even for 13 years, I've been wondering, like, how many damn times have I been in people's houses and it's a freaking biohazard? Like, one, I'm not gonna walk in. It's like we had this one. I'll give you a good example. I got a billion of these stories. I was looking for a runaway, a 15-year-old runaway with her 18-year-old boyfriend, and she was about 16. And I found them at this house with this one chick. She was on hospice, and she had full-blown AIDS, and
oh wow,
she had a diaper, and it was like a bloody diaper.
wow.
As soon as I seen that in the walkway, I didn't even walk in. And it's like you're going into so many people's houses, and there's like a biohazard every time you walk in. Like,
It's exposure all day.
Oh my God! I mean, there are times we're walking to people's houses, and you won't even know that they have fleas.
Look,
That's all houses.
girl, what the heck? You like, I'm scratching and stuff like,
Yeah. That's
my leg, like, oh God.
I was like, oh my God, this house is like Cleveland.
That's all houses in Baltimore.
It's almost the cops have to wear hazmat suits now. You know, I don't know what they were gonna do.
Oh yeah, because the fire department who basically handles all the hazmat, they have suits for us on their trucks. A lot of them are gonna say it. You have to. That's why you got to read these policies, man. Because they're supposed to. If we go into a situation, you're supposed to give us a hazmat suit and a mask. Because there are times when we gotta go in with the fire department because it may be a law enforcement jurisdiction, but they still handle the hazmat. And I'm like, man, you going into, God forbid, if something ever happens to Johns Hopkins or University of Maryland, get me the fuck out of here.
Right, and see, at the same time, as an officer, let's say you're in that situation and you go to one of the hospitals. In my honest opinion, first responders should get, preferential treatment at hospitals. That's just because who are you going to have to replace them, right? Hospital, healthcare workers, any first responder, any person on the front line should get preferential treatment. Other people think what they want to think. That's how I feel about it. Because like Michael has said, and my mother has even said this, when the police people at the hospital die, who are you going to call? Like, how are you going to replace them when everyone is locked down or too afraid to come? You have your floating pools. You don't have floating pools of police.
No, you don't. And it takes about a good year to 2 years to train you.
Right. And you could be gone by then or severely damaged physically.
Yeah. And God, man, it's like it coincides with how spoiled of a country we are. BGS here, we talk about this a lot. If one half of 1% of the country defends it, you wouldn't see this so much of a cultural divide between police and everybody if we had mandatory 2-year service.
Yeah,
because it'd be an understanding. It would cut down on a lot of stuff, and then when you know these procedures, because you were trained in the military, you would actually uphold to NBC specifications. Nuclear, biological, and chemical. For those who don't know what the NBC was, and thought I was talking about a damn network. And when you actually hold to those specifications and guidelines, you would actually respect it a lot more because you would know, like when they show you pictures of what anthrax or mustard gas and other kind of agents do to the human body, you will be like, this shit is real.
Right. Right. And see, now, just because you mentioned that, they're going to have to develop or add on to the protocols already in place because of this. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Oh, they have the papers in the back from the executive order from the governor to the orders from the police commissioner.
Right. They're gonna have to because otherwise they will be at risk for a lot of potential lawsuits and a lot of other things that will happen. I mean, you have loss of number one. I mean, forget the lawsuits. That's just whatever. That's gonna happen just because people file suits or whatever. Some people like going to court, whatever. That's gonna happen. But for me, it's more important when you're losing your police force, when you're losing different parts of society. that are difficult to replace very quickly. You can't. How are you going to replace people like that? You know. So yeah, I think their protocols, they're going to have to change. I mean, our protocols are changing right now. The way we do stuff, it's crazy. Like they're sending us stuff every single day. We have things that are changing. They're amending the amendment they sent Monday. They sent something, and it's like memo number 1, and then by Thursday it's updated twice. I'm like, what the hell?
Exactly, and that's how it is here. Because it's what the military call a fluid. You have a static, which means nothing's changing.
Right.
It's like if we have a hostage scenario and it's static and we can be there for hours, but then let's say somebody starts shooting. Now you have a fluid that's ever changing, and you're gonna have to learn how to be very flexible and on your toes, because a lot of people, once again, it goes back to being spoiled as a country. You don't go through these changes very often. Like BGS is what, 61?
Yeah.
When have you went through changes like this?
Like this? No, never really.
The last time we went through changes like this, they integrated my goddamn school.
I think the last time we had this kind of uproar was at probably September 11th, 2001.
Yeah. And that was,
but it wasn't permanent. Like, you know, it wasn't didn't drag on quite like this though.
Right. And even though we were at guard duty at all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
But, for policing and fire, and the piggyback off of what Nicole said, there's 3 entities you cannot run any city without. There's police, fire, and sanitation. Because right then and there, you have a lot of and if you think about this whole COVID time, that was one of the biggest issues right there. A lot of when it first happened, they shut down everything. Sanitation wasn't out. Like, you actually had some sanitation workers who were sick.
Well, I remember in New York a couple of times they shut down sanitation. Man, I saw what they was going through when they were showing all that trash that was building up. A couple cities that's happened actually before, where they've shut down like no trash pickup for like almost a month. Man, I remember videos of that. You can see where our trash was just like they could fill up a truck easily on each street, like easily. Like, you know, you go down 5-6 houses, and there was just so much trash. It was just like, you know, you can fill the whole truck up on the street easily. Just do one side and just pull.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember. What was that? Was that when we had snow? I said, what was it, BGS? I know you remember. It's been a couple times where trash at certain cities were shut down.
Oh,
they
yeah.
Oh, they were on strike.
Yeah.
That's what it was. They were on strike.
Yeah, they were on strike. New York did it. I think Chicago did it.
I knew it was. I was sitting there thinking, what was it? No, I remember it was strike. They were on strike.
They were on strike. I think a lot of your major, like Detroit did it one time, Chicago did it, New York did it, and I think there's a couple others. But it's rare, but it does happen.
Yeah, it's rare, but because you know that happened a couple of times. There were people because they were complaining that people were actually burning trash because there was just so much of it.
Yeah.
And after the fire department, I remember the fire departments were complaining then because a lot of structures got caught fire from people burning trash.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it was literally just that much trash.
Yeah. You know? When something breaks down in a city, it gets bad in a hurry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I clean out houses sometimes, and I'm just surprised. Like literally, you know, I'm surprised at how much trash. I just did a house actually 2 weeks ago. And I mean, literally, I paid a gentleman with a truck. He made about 8 trips from the truck. Now they own a house across the street, so we filled up their tree line. There was an abandoned house it wasn't really abandoned, but they caught fire and they never fixed it. We used their tree line and their tree line. And I mean, like, it's still a ton of shit left. And I mean, the show is like, you know, we was paying a guy. He took 5 loads away in his truck for $225.
Hell yeah.
It was just like literally how much you would not believe how much shit can come out of the house.
Oh, I know. I've worked for my father remodeling houses. Jesus Christ.
You just seen. I done showed y'all some of the pictures of houses where I done gone to, and these people are still living in them. So, and I know you as a police officer, man. I know you probably you ever go in some houses where the house is so dirty and it's got a stench to it. Just by you walking in and the air touching you, you want to go home and take a bath.
See, that's what I
It's
need
an
to
air
walk off.
touch.
I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't. I don't like. I mean, because honestly, like for me, I would just probably I would be like, I can't. I just can't.
I'm trying to keep a straight face while you talk.
What?
Like, oh man, like sometimes you see where the roaches be just like everywhere.
You know, the roaches be having a whole ticker tape parade in some people's houses, man.
Right. They be like, what, nigga? They're like, fuck the police. Not what?
They say it too. You be like, one roach grab a cup of coffee, be like, hey, how you doing? You want anything? I'm like, nah, bro.
I'm here going to the kitchen. Want to give anything back?
Look, nigga, we got donuts in there.
I'll tell you this: the worst house I ever seen with my father. It had 20 dogs and 40 cats.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
Oh my goodness. Okay.
This house I was just working on, they had a dead dog that died in the garage, and they had left the dog in the garage. I mean, like literally, it's like the smell, the stench is down into the concrete of death.
Oh my
so
god!
basically, like you got to get a high pressure washer to get it out the concrete. Like literally, we cleaned the garage out 2 weeks ago. Like when you get within 5 feet of the garage, you can still smell it.
We got Judge Dre. I didn't get a chance to say good evening to you, and
good evening,
Gino. Good evening, guys. Thank you for coming by. Everybody in the chat.
Nicole, you still cheating on me over there? Cheating on me, baby girl. You remember we used to be on Facebook and I was in Los Angeles and I was trying to shoot my shot. Oh yeah.
She said you don't want to get played like that.
You know, you got to remember, Jason is listening. Okay.
He
he'll be looking down his glasses, right? I mean, who's that Negro?
Yeah, probably.
Is he not from? Is he not Belizean?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You got a machete. You got a machete in your future, Gino.
Somewhere.
I'm not
Hey, you have a machete in your future. Okay.
Ain't you learn to like avoid trouble?
He's good. He's just like he likes to hear. The other screen, he was like, "Is that BGS?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "All right."
Yeah.
He was like, "That's BGS."
I'll tell you this: the first time, I always had nothing but love for Nicole, but the first time she had me rolling, she was like, "Oh yeah, my whole family loves you, Charles. We listen to you every time."
Yeah.
Tell your brother, your mother. I said hello and.
Yeah. My brother, he was like, Charles, he said, "Man, Charles ain't shit. Talk about them girls like that, man. How you talking about that? He ain't let me talk." I was like, "You got to come on there, man." He was like, "Oh, because he's always working." And he was like, "Man, Charles, what's the dude?"
Oh yeah, Uncle Chuck is that dude. It was funny. He
was really scared because he was like, he said, "Well, how y'all just be my brother?" I was like, "You being a slave right now," because he was like, "How y'all up there just talking like they're all free and stuff?"
Like, oh no,
he said, "Y'all can talk free like that." I was like, "If you don't take your slave ass back in the house,
like if you don't like that, know it. Oh,
Master don't know. I was joking with him. I was like, "Master gonna know he's reading."
Shit.
We better act like we take it spirituals.
Oh Lord!
I guess going to work. You going to work, child. You going to work.
That reminds me. Oh man, you really think I'm a shit talker now? I was talking.
He couldn't believe it. He's like, guys, they're talking. These guys on here. They're talking, and there's ladies on here. They're talking like so open and honest. He was like, "Oh wow, this is great." I was like,
it was so bad, right? I had one of the white supervisors, and he was like, "Hey, Fulton, I need you to do such and such." And it just the asshole in me was like, "Yes, sir, master. We gonna go down there and pick up some good stuff, boy." He was so no, I didn't mean it like that.
Yes, I'm going down there, going down to the water hole.
Lord, do you want me to get some fried chicken and some watermelon? Lord, I'll dance a jig for you. Lord, see, here you go.
Yeah, they. What was you saying, Gino? You were trying to say something earlier?
Nah, it's all good. I was just saying I ain't trying to get your dude to roast me like I roasted this young brother on my stream a little bit earlier today. Everybody's streaming tonight.
You're streaming? Okay.
Yeah.
I had to, BGS, that little young dude that likes to troll and whatnot. He kept fucking with me, so I told him, okay, I'll host a stream at 10 tonight.
You talking about Joe?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. LaShawn was there, man. Yeah, I had to roast the fuck out of him. And it's a shame because I was like, we tried to talk it out like men, and he kept, acting like a little welfare baby. And I kicked him off my stream. I was like, look, you're not going to talk over me and my shit. So,
oh no,
you guys will catch the replay. I put it in the Discord, a couple of Discords, but I had to get a little ugly with them. But also, I put up some old content that I had on one of these old little hip hop remixes I did. Or I had one of my homeboys do for me from way back in my old podcast. So I'm just chilling. Y'all got me out here on StreamYard now. Jesus Christ!
I was wondering. Well, at least y'all had it out, man. Because you guys were. I had to put him down because he wanted to yell at you for my.
He did that shit yesterday. He did it at an Art of Immore stream yesterday because he kept trying to talk over Uncle Chuck over there. He kept doing it, and I was like, I was in the chat like, dude, you got 2 ears and one mouth. Chill. And he just going in off on that. I'm like, okay, stop.
He's feeling himself.
I noticed that he changed his demeanor when I was talking to him. I don't know if y'all noticed that.
Who's this you're talking about?
Well, you had that effect on him.
Yeah,
no, I didn't mean to have that effect. I was tired of shit, first of all. But I was usual. But I was like, when I was talking to him, he was just like, now notice if you go back and listen to the stream, because I went after I got off, I came in the house, took a shower, cooked, and did a bunch of other stuff, cleaned up. He went to bed, cleaned up, did a bunch of other stuff, and then went to bed. No, then I went and tied my hair up. Then I went to bed. But before all of that, like if you notice during the stream, I listened to it. When Malika was talking to him, he acted a certain way. When I talked to him, he acted a different way.
Yeah,
I was on that. I was like,
it's because this is especially for young guys, right? Since we're raised in a gynocracy, they actually respond to female authority.
Yeah,
you did it before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like
that happens all the time.
Sorry about that, BG. Sorry about that. No, I titled it. So I titled my stream essentially Gen Z mirrors of the millennials' iniquity, and I basically used them as a talking point because my homegirl who was in the stream, we were texting, calling, and talking about it. And she was like, "Why did you even engage with them?" Because I wanted to use them as a case study. And after I kicked them out, I was basically explaining, like, we millennials, we created little niggas like that. We did. We were out here in our 20s and telling the Gen X and the boomers that we knew everything and that we know how things work on sexuality and the gender stuff more than they do and stuff like that. We created a little rugrats like that. So Art kind of got into my rear end about that a couple of days ago, and I'm not going to give him any more attention. But he just wants attention, so it is what it is. He doesn't respect me.
Who's this? Who's this?
Remember that little rugrat that was talking over you yesterday on Art Stream? The little 21-year-old rugrat that you gave a homework assignment to?
Joe.
Yeah, you're talking about Joe. Oh yeah. He wanted me to give him the answer.
Yeah.
And it's funny because one thing about this sector of Black YouTube, you're not dealing with any stupid people. No. You have to have a brain to keep.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, we're still looking for you.
Oh, you thought I wasn't going to have a comeback? Come on, man. I've been doing this for 3 days. Come on, man. You knew that was coming. That was automatic fire, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. See, I don't. I am going to never take it seriously. If it's not a joke, if it's not a comeback, you can't hang with me. Ain't no thin-skinned people over here.
Like I tell you, you can't be.
One thing I like about this area.
To a guy who wrestled for years and dealt with the military and the police. Oh, you better have some jokes.
Yeah,
I'm like this. Like it's interesting that you said that, and hopefully he actually takes that homework assignment to heart because he didn't understand the fact of the matter of why. Well, so why are these guys not? I said first and foremost, let's look at history.
Mm-hmm.
When we went through civil rights, and a lot of these black women, these black feminists joined the white ones, they took the jobs away from us that we were promised.
Right. That's true.
So that's why I always ask a lot of these little black feminists, if you're tired of the level of men that you have, are you willing to give your jobs back to the men that deserve it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you gave me that
first and foremost. If you actually give that black man a job first, my buddy who's a fellow police officer, Jason Lee, shout out to Jason, said one of the most introspective things ever. He says, you know what? A lot of black women do not want top tier men because they would be forced to submit to them, and they don't want to do that.
I agree with that. Well, Kevin actually did a show on that, and it talks about that. This is the reason why, I gotta say, Kevin been burning it up lately. You gotta give his brother man credit. I said a lot of people, they realize that, hey, if a dude got like this, if you don't want him, it'll be 10 other broads out there that'll take him in a heartbeat. And that's the thing that I think these women don't understand. For every man that you turn down, and usually this is what time they fuck up and they realize, because think about it, how many times have you had a girl, she fuck up, but yet after you put her down and leave her alone, they still call you back?
Oh yeah, years later.
So think about it. You're such a bad person.
The reason for that is that one, she's confused.
Go ahead.
She doesn't really know what she wants. And three, what she doesn't know what she wants that can give her something tangible, but she does know that she wants attention, and you're familiar, and so she's gonna call and be like,
speaking of that one, just pulled in my driveway. So to go to show you that even after all the bullshit, and you've heard the shit that I say, because she's been sitting here next to me and hear the shit that I say, you still just pull in my driveway.
What was the third point, Nicole?
The third point was that I forget what it was, but the third point was like a lot of them just call to say hello. There's always a creative motive. That's the last thing. Like there's always a motive for just calling and calling consistently. I'd be like telling some of my friends like, stop calling him. He don't want to talk to you. And they're like, shut up, you don't know nothing. And I'm like, I don't know nothing but you alone.
And then you gotta think about it. And they're like, well,
you didn't get there on your own. I didn't get there with you, bitch. Like, I didn't get.
That's my science right there.
If you help me, then you would be doing better than me. Like, come on.
Do they know that they're talking to a woman with a strong animus and not a strong animal?
I think so, and that's the thing when they're crying. I'm like, I don't know why you're crying, because. I'll just get even and get it over with, or I'll just leave it alone. But you're just like, oh my god, like you just want to cry for days and days. Like you wasted too much time. You done fucked 3 girls already in 2 days, and you done missed out. And like you could have just like had him one last time and just let it go and leave. But no, you're crying, and and then get mad because you don't have enough batteries. Like, girl, bye.
Yeah, the thing is what women don't understand about men. Okay, men, whether we admit it or not, and sometimes we don't even do it ourselves. But men, especially when the women, they want to be able to trust her and her to be honorable toward him. And if for whatever reason you don't do that, he's done with you. He's not coming back. He might have sex with you. He might have a roll in the hay. He might have spend a weekend with you, but basically he's done with you because he can't trust you anymore.
Yep. And it's funny, Nicole, that
so true.
It's funny, Nicole, that you say that because women like you are rare. 1, you're easy on the eyes. 2, you're cool as fuck. 3, you actually you don't even. If I met you in the street, I wouldn't know what the fuck what you do for a living or what you degree in. You don't lead with that. You actually lead with your femininity. And you ever notice how people gravitate toward you? Well, you're the only female on the screen, and you got like 4 or 5 guys up here with you.
Yeah. And I wish that's a good point because I was just thinking about that earlier. Chaos is up here. I don't know why I was thinking it when Chaos popped up, but I was thinking Chaos come back if you want. But when he popped up, I was like, man, what if they're not to say nothing? I ain't saying nothing. I'm not insinuating. I ain't instigating. But I was like, man, there should maybe I wish a lady would, some ladies would say, hey, I'll come in. But I think Char has her stream on too. I think that's another thing.
Okay.
Do you wear tinfoil hats?
Huh?
Do you think 5G is dangerous?
Now those dudes right there, the one that was saying, BGS here in Britain in UK, the 5G. This fool tried to say that no, wait. Lyme disease was coronavirus caused by 5G. I was
coronavirus.
Out the window. But just the conversations that we can have as females, and I know I have had conversations on his streams with females, but I got a headache after 10 minutes or so. I was like,
yeah, because you have a logical brain, and and you don't deal with illogic too well because you're a scientist. So it doesn't compute, and what they're saying doesn't compute because 1 + 1 doesn't make 2; it makes 5. So, your brain said,
Yeah, it was like my brain. I think in my head, like everybody has an inner voice, and my inner voice is like, they ain't right. Nah.
It's funny, I remember when the first time you were asking a question about women, and you were like, "Damn!" And I love how with Nicole, she could be so intellectual, but then so hood at the same time. She was like, "This bitch didn't make any sense." And I was like,
"Yeah, she will. She sure will." There, she said this track didn't make any sense.
She was like, and I was like, and I said it in my best Batman voice. "Welcome to my world."
But Charles, you can't talk. You be like, "I'll just keep him around," but I'll just keep him around. You can't.
I have a tolerance. I have a tolerance level. Like, man, everybody.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay.
This year alone, everybody's been getting cut. I mean, I've been giving up. I've been cutting people off like coronavirus. Like, no, you can't go to work. You fired.
Did you buy a temporal scanner? Did you buy a temporal scanner?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They have one at
temporal scanner, don't you?
Oh yeah.
They have the rapid test.
How accurate do you think the rapid test actually is?
I have no idea because I see so many different reports and I hear things from people that actually do the test and they've used themselves as negative control and everything. I have no idea because that rapid test. I don't know because it's the false negative rate is not good. That's really bad.
That's kind of scary. I thought I low key caught that shit yesterday because my head started hurting randomly yesterday and my throat started getting sore and I was like, oh shit, can I still taste? And I can still taste, but I feel like a little pain hitting my head on both sides of my head. I woke up today and I feel a little bit better, but I was talking to a friend of mine. I was like, I gotta go out and work. I'm out here doing these mortgage signings. I'm unemployed right now, so I still got to get it. So for my little side hustles, I'm like, I hope I didn't catch this shit. But I'm in Houston though, so it's the epicenter over here.
My girl works at a hospital. They check your temperature when you walk in the door. Man, if you have anything, 100. Yeah, they check your temperature when you walk in the door. They had 2 employees actually come down with it.
Yeah. In fact, they had to take my dad to his appointment, right? And the same thing happened because my sister tried to wheel him in a wheelchair, and they said you can't come in. We haven't checked her. She hadn't taken a test, so they basically only allowed him in. Everybody else had to stay outside. So they're real careful.
Well, I will admit I've got the first person that I can verify who's actually got COVID near me that I know is true. As a matter of fact, I had to show you one of the houses I was working on. The guy who was he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come to pay you. His sister came down with it. And I'm like, he was like, oh, I'm coming in there. He talked about that. He was talking about, well, I'm coming over to drop some money. I'm like, no, man, don't just. I just run it. Don't worry about it. I'll catch up with you next week. Shit, hell no, you ain't coming near me.
I'll tell you one thing about it. When my buddy had it for 3 weeks, he said he was like. He had diarrhea so bad the shit was clear.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think I had it back in January this year.
I thought I was coming down with some shit this morning.
Yeah, that's how you get dehydrated really fast too.
Are you was he always? Because I believe I had it back. This was like in like end of January when I was sick for those 3 weeks when I was telling y'all about how I wasn't working. You had constant diarrhea, head always hurting. You sleeping like 15, 16 hours a day. And y'all know I always see me at work. You sleeping like that, and it don't matter what you do.
You might have had an early train of that shit.
Yeah, but it's like no matter what you do, you were just all tired. You were so tired. What's so bad is when I went to the hospital and they checked me out, I started to feel better when I finally. It took my girlfriend like 2 weeks to get me to go to the hospital. So I went, and that's when I noticed. Then this was back COVID wasn't talked about, but immediately they put me in a room by myself, and they didn't have nobody. Everybody that came in the room had masks on. So it was like, what? I'm like contagious, and like, but they wasn't talking about this. But it's like, oh, they X-rayed my, like literally, I got in there, and within 30 minutes, they had me on an X-ray machine having my lungs X-rayed. And they was telling me, oh, you got severe lung damage. You probably won't feel better for a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what they told me. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I was riding my bike this was about 2 months ago. I was riding my bike 2 months ago, like right before I got in that fire. And I remember I was riding down the street, and you know, it's an electric bike, so you got pedal assist. So it ain't like you working that damn hard. And next thing you know, I felt like I was just about to pass out right on the bike. I felt like I was I had to pull over and like sit down on the ground. Because it literally felt like I was you could feel like that is the worst feeling in the world. Feel like you're drowning.
Yeah, like overwhelming.
That's the only way to describe, like you just cannot breathe.
Oh, you got smoke damage from that fire or heat damage from?
No, this was before the fire. This is they told me I had lung damage from the when I got sick. They were trying to say they didn't say it was a virus. They said I had severe lung infection.
Oh, you had COVID. That's COVID.
Yeah, that's what I found out afterwards, because my girlfriend was writing down all the symptoms, because you know she working out. She said you had all of those symptoms.
Yeah.
She said you had it before they was talking about it.
Yeah, you had COVID, because that's one of the major.
Yeah. You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
And I'm not gonna lie. After that, I've been advertising. I've been working on the house, and I figured I came down with something. And I will admit, I started on the house and only did half their kitchen and never finished. I was scared to go back around them, and what's so bad? These people knew a lot of my workers, so I was scared to like even let them know that I got sick. Because the worst thing they do, I'm a small business owner. They say that nigga came down with COVID, and nobody gonna hire him.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? Because why would think about it? Like if you knew that I had COVID, and even though it was 3-4 months later, would you hire me to be coming in your house every day for a month?
Hell no.
Tell the truth.
Yeah,
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't hire you. Right. I mean, think about it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm a businessman, but I'm a father too. If I knew that you had COVID and you got over it 2 months ago, I'm sorry, you ain't getting hired no time soon. Now you ain't coming to my house.
Hey, you hear this, Al?
Judge, you have to get a plasma test or serum test.
Well, this was before the test was out.
But
Remember, I got sick when they first came out.
You know what, Nicole?
It doesn't matter. You still have antibodies in your system.
You know what, Cole? I saw a video about a dude that just in the UK that went through the same thing, how the signs. And the thing is, he had a plasma test. And what you find out is there's like half of the people that take the plasma test are not showing antibodies, even though they had the classic COVID signs. Yep. And some people have had the swab, and they tested positive with the swab. For the plasma antibody test, they're not testing positive, and they can't figure that out.
You know, all y'all talk about COVID.
Say what, Nicole?
I'm sorry.
I just think that it affects different parts of the body differently, and I think it stays around. It has a latent period in certain parts of the body, and meaning like for your nose and throat, maybe it's 3 days. For your heart, forever. Your liver, 6 months. Lungs, 6 months, something like that. I think it has like it has to be based on the antibodies or receptors or proteins that those specific cells express that can receive and keep the virus there. Okay. But if you it's just like a person that's like overdosed on drugs. Like if you overload those receptors, they shut down, they die, or they just go dormant. And so the virus doesn't have a receptor there anymore, and so it just moves away. But now you've destroyed that organ, or you damaged that organ irreparably.
Okay.
So I think that's what it is. But if it's like ear, nose, and throat, those cells in ear, nose, and throat, they heal fast. That tissue has to heal very quickly. You know, in general.
Well, I'll say the worst thing about it was the cough.
I think also those cells.
Hold on, Judge.
I think if you like with Judge, if you had that infection, like for instance, let's say it affected the inside of your nose, which is where they're doing the swabs, right? But those cells slough off a lot. You blow your nose a lot, okay? Kids digging their nose all the time, you know, that type of thing. You blowing your nose, dust and everything is going in and out. Those cells are constantly renewing over and over and over inside your throat, inside your mouth. Like those cells, they're not made to stick around for a long period of time. You know, they're made for a certain time, and then they're supposed to be brushed away. It's unlike your skin, because your skin is there to protect you and keep you from drying out and getting infections, right? But I think that could be why people are seeing. I mean, that's, to me, 50-50 is low. 50% of people having that, having positive or good enough antibody concentration in their blood. That's low. 50% is low, really, especially for this type of virus that's so potent. But you know, I have to look that up though.
Because I'll actually email you the video I was actually looking at. Let me find. I'll actually put it in the comments. Let me go look for it.
Hey Nicole,
I was just looking at it.
Okay.
Hey Nicole.
Yes.
All this talk about COVID, I want you to listen to this.
You ain't shit.
What is that?
He's spraying it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Does it have coronavirus on the back of the can? Because somebody that was talking to BGS said, you know, the last time, coronavirus is brand new because we it's on the back of the Lysol can. I was like, what?
It's some funny shit.
I had to rewind that, y'all. My finger be cramping up because I'm just tapping that screen, rewind like 20 seconds. I gotta hear that. Replay that on my drive to work. I'm rolling in the car laughing.
Sometimes you hear some of the stupidest shit. Like
he said, if they put Corona on the Lysol can, this is brand new. It's brand new. It's brand new shit, BGS. BGS, you ain't never seen no Corona like this. They got on the Lysol can now.
This is new Corona.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You can't tell me this disease wasn't made though. That shit was man-made. I don't care. That shit was man-made.
Yeah,
my Corona.
The way they reacted to it, where the military reacted to it, let me know that it was a lab breach.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way they would actually react. Yeah. Because the military, even if it's naturally occurring, until they find patient zero or find the source, they've never locked down the country like that. But for a lab breach, they would. Yeah. Yeah.
They'd be like,
I saw that too, and they were going at you about the military. I said, man, the military is plus or minus. I mean, Charles, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's usually, all in or nothing. So they all in. See,
they all in. All
2 tanks. That's too much. Too damn many on the road.
I
ride up and down 14, 15 to 5, 4 or 5. I saw them 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I saw them in places that they were not normally there. An old building that was just vacant and shut down, all of a sudden had military trucks all around it. I'm like, what? Okay.
I'm gonna put it in the regular chat.
I'll put it to you this way. The military doesn't play with that NBC shit, man. They don't play with that shit. They will actually have people there with rifles and chem suits, and they will shoot your ass if you try to escape. And they will burn your body. They have no qualms against that.
That's what they're saying about New York. About New York should have been burning bodies instead. But that's how come they were burying the bodies in the Potter's Field off on that island.
Oh, that was going to be a big ass. That was going to be, you know what they're going to do? They're going to throw some gasoline or some kerosene on their asses, and you would have all you needed was some s'mores.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
because you weren't going to play with that shit.
Yeah.
Right. It should be that's been using the crematoriums 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Basically, that's what they're saying in China and Wuhan, man. They had ordered like 45,000 urns.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. I remember looking at those stories too, and I was like, really? Okay. You know, and then I was like, let me look somewhere else. I saw somewhere else, and I saw like, you know, multiple people talking about that, like sites, news sites, not blogs, news sites. And they were all saying that, and I said, okay, this is real. They're doing this. Okay.
Seeing China's military act the way they acted, I was like, "Oh, yeah, this is some man-made shit." They got that like BGS says, a lab breach. But now, quiet as it's kept the topics. Going back to Uncle Chuck, when you gave old boy the homework assignment, I actually went back and did some homework myself. I actually went to Michelle Wallace's Black Macho book. I was like, I already kind of knew the game, but you know, I'm a young brother still. You know, I'm younger than pretty much anybody in this panel. So I did some research, and I was like, okay, because I was listening and peeping game. And that's kind of why I act the way that I act, even at 30 years old. Like, when an angry man and I have a dispute over something he says, I get on his panel and I address him like a man. You know, I don't go over there calling him out his name, or I don't do that goofy shit. And I respect that man on his. I don't mean to cut you off. My apologies, but I respect that man on his platform, and I respect all of you guys on this platform, and you too. This is your platform, obviously. But I train myself in a certain way. There are better ways of doing things than just hopping on somebody's stream and acting a fool. So, like I said, you gave out the homework assignment. I did my research and was like, "Damn, yeah, he's right."
Like, it's funny because. Like I'll say it again. You got a lot of intelligent people on these goddamn panels, and this is the crime of the black community. They don't take advantage of this shit.
No.
Right.
Get the
I disagree with that. I wouldn't say that black community doesn't take advantage of it. I would say that and they can be mad at me if they want. They already emailed me, whatever. I would say black community don't take advantage of it. Just. I mean, I know Ma Kim was here earlier, but she probably went to bed because she goes to bed kind of early and probably late on her end. But a lot of black women just don't take advantage of it, just to see, not to necessarily see what guys are talking about, but just to see like the error in their ways.
Right.
So to speak. I don't know however else to put it. The error in your ways, and to see that there's a huge, big world out there. Matilda, there's a big world out there, and you can go explore it. And there's some guys there, and there's some women who aren't dumb, who know how to act. You know what I'm saying? Like they just. I wish that there would be more women that would come, but then when I go to certain platforms, certain channels or whatever, and see where the women I thought were more intelligent, were more well-rounded, they're talking about drag stuff, and I'm like, okay, I can't. I just
the gynocracy is drag culture.
What did Tommy Sotomayor say back in the day? That and I don't really listen to him, but one thing he did say back in the day was the BT 5000, right? I even said in my stream, like, this is a spawn of the BT 5000. Like, you can't reason with the machine. You can't. This is a spawn of the machine. So he acts just like his BT 5000 ass mama, and it's unfortunate. But like I always say, you can't talk about as a black man or even a young black man that you want black male authority when you can't respect the authority of other black men on their own shit. That's why I say when I talk to all of you gentlemen, you too, Nicole, of course, I respect everybody's authority on this panel, and even those who I don't even see, because you guys have been through certain things. You guys have earned your stripes. I'm earning my stripes still to this day, but we've all have earned our stripes. We've been through the crucible. That's why I was telling homeboy that, hey man, my experience was basically a battlefield commission. We call it a battlefield commission. That's why I propelled so quickly in the manosphere, because that's shit that we do on a day-to-day basis, but people don't really record those experiences, and it was a teaching tool. But it is what it is. It was just interesting, interact.
And if you really think,
what's that?
If you really think about it, he was looking for the quick fix instead of actually doing the research.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, why don't you look up Gloria Steinem and Michelle Wallace?
Yep.
And go research it. And you'll find out, because he was so indoctrinated and programmed to think, why didn't these black men take advantage of these jobs? Maybe because they were taken from us. That's all I'm going to tell you. Research why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, you didn't that's that welfare mentality. Give me the answer. Give it to me. Give it. He got mad at me because he kept deliberately talking over you. You know how we accidentally do this on panels. But he kept trying to talk over you. And I was in a chat because I was trying to get my house. And I said, hey, man, chill out. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Stop. And that's why he got upset. Why is Gino trolling me? I'm like, shut the fuck up. But,
Yeah, see, I was in the back chat, and we were on BBS the other day, and I was just like, cool out, because young people, I realized you have to let them talk, because you start to see, like, I guess, where they're coming from, and then you don't make a misstep in your teaching that you get so angry, and be like, man, fuck out it. You just go off. And you can't do that, because then I think they want you to do that, so they can be like, well, look, the older generation, they don't care. They don't care.
Yeah. I know they want to go off and whine. Look,
they'll fall back into that.
Yeah.
And,
you hurt my widow hand. You hurt my widow hand.
You hurt my feelings. Yeah, you hurt my feelings. Yeah, so you told him to stop.
And I thought he was going to say that. I thought he was going to say that. It was like,
when you told him to stop in the back chat, if you notice, I stopped when you said that, because I was looking at what you were saying, and I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm lowering. You weren't even talking to me, and I was like, the fact that you said that means that I'm lowering myself to this dude's level, and I'm better. I know I'm better than that.
I'm like, okay, he's 21. Okay, and we were writing. We were not writing. We were saying. We was telling him to write it down. But we were giving him the step-by-step approach to what he could do. And I was like, okay, give me 3 topics for 3 months and go from there. And he was just like, well, if you're gonna do the topic, if you want to do the topics, you have to do the work.
Right.
And find out what from both sides. I said from both sides.
You did. And when you came in and put a stop to that, I started realizing that, you know what, if I'm doing this in the back chat, I'm actually disrespecting BGS, because this is his back chat, his platform. That's why I stopped, because I was disrespecting BGS with that foolishness. So how, that's one of those, how dare I disrespect this man's platform and his authority? You actually came in and mediated that, and that's why I stopped talking. I see.
Yeah. But and you saw what he did. He just kept going. I was like, let him just forget all that. He just gonna keep going and everything. And I was like, okay, now we can know what he's about and go from there. Because when he said, well, I'm 21, and then he had the lady, his girlfriend, going and looking up
for a board. They work.
I didn't catch that till later. I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's funny, Nicole. What you need to do is like a 5-10 minute video and explain to these Negroes the scientific method.
Yeah, I did that with Twin Man. You see how that turned out?
because I've told people when I look at shit, even as an officer, guess what? You have to look at it scientifically.
Right.
Because guess what? Criminal justice is a science.
Exactly.
Amen.
And you have to look at it. What's the cause and effect of crime? What's the reasons of crime? What are the 3 things jail is supposed to be? What is all this? If I do this, we're going to get that. Let's see what's the correlating factor. Let's cross-reference this to see if it correlates or it actually goes against. Then we basically get all of our data and we plug it into. And is that pretty much, am I hitting spot on the science?
Yeah. That's why I put it nail on the head, because that's what I was telling him. When you're planning out a topic, and he didn't have to do this way, but this is how I could like minimize it for him to digest it. So I was like, I knew his age by then, and I was like, okay, this is how he needs to do it. Look at both sides of the argument, because you're new. And I already knew, okay, if you're a new person to this thing, this whole platform, you're gonna get upset when you see comments in your comment section saying, fuck you, what are you doing about, going off on you.
Yeah.
So you need to already be prepared, and the way you prepare for that, if you're for a topic, you need to know against the topic.
Yep.
If you're against the topic, you need to know for that topic, the pro for that particular topic, so that if anybody goes against what you're saying, you're prepared mentally of what they could come up with. That's the science, and that's pretty much what you were saying, Charles.
And yeah,
both sides of what's going on.
You got to cross-reference your shit. You got to much before even that, look at your hypothesis. Does it make fucking sense? Is it logical? And that's the reason why when all these guys come up here, they talk about, well, even people I walk across and say, well, it's not the black woman's fault. I said, look here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Let me break it down to you. I'm gonna break this bitch down like a shotgun. Or my M4. And I'm gonna break this bitch down like a shotgun and an M4, and I can break that bitch down, put it back, and shoot motherfuckers both glass lenses 50 meters away. Iron sights, baby. And it's, I said, look, number one, who holds the majority of the degrees?
Mm.
Who has majority of the kids?
Women. Yeah.
Who gets majority of the child support?
Yikes. Oh
no. Now, and let's stay on that child support. And I was telling this brother
who has the majority of the jobs, period.
The women.
Women. Double minority.
Because I had to tear this guy a new asshole kindly. And I said, look. So how many of these black women out here are putting their kids in private schools since they getting all this goddamn child support? Are they putting those children in parochial schools? Or are they spending the shit on themselves? Or they trying to get their children fresh to keep up with the Joneses? I said, no. I said, look at it this way: who gets majority of the benefits?
Women.
I said, so how the fuck can I blame somebody who they invented a system? It wasn't a system. They invented shit to keep you down.
Yep.
They went out of their way to make laws. I said, tell me one law a black woman couldn't marry a white man. Oh, but they make
that should be something those types of questions, the answers to the questions should be ready to answer those questions, and they're not. Those types of questions, like a law that would, and they could say, well, whatever their little deflection is going to be, it's never good. So I'm just like,
I'll go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like when you ask women that, and when I ask them that, they don't have a good response, and so because I'll ask them, well, when were black women not allowed to be with white men? Well,
exactly.
It's like old jalopy just coming to a something.
They stuttered.
Why are you getting mad about it? It's something that you probably should know. Or look into. It's not like I'm angry with you. It's just maybe you need more knowledge on the subject.
But it's the same thing with Joe. When I had to school him about some shit, and I go through this with a lot of young black males who grow up that mama can do no wrong. I said, you become a man, you can look at your mama and be like, "Ma, I love you, but you're full of shit too."
There you go.
And every man has to go through that. That's part of your manly package. I love my mother, and it was like. And it's like I've said this to black men and black women. I said, as a matter of fact, tell me where there was a law that black women couldn't read, write, or comprehend or count.
Wow.
So I said, so if you really want to talk all this shit about this black feminism, well, the queen's the most powerful piece on the board. I said, of course she could walk anywhere because she's protected by a king, a bishop, a rook, a knight, pawns. I said, but guess what? She can go all these places, but if you knock the king off, game's over.
Game's over.
You've been helping these motherfuckers knock your kings off, but now you wonder why statistically you are up on these antidepressants. Now you wonder why you went from the most married for over a century to the least married
right
in 20 years.
Well, one of
Well, one of the things is too, I try to tell a lot of women, just like today, I was sitting here listening to Kevin Samuels' show while I was, with an older, friend of mine. She's like 25 years older than me. And immediately, as soon as he said anything, well, this is the problem. He's just so negative. And I'm like, you could realize Kevin probably is the most laid back, and he didn't call no cuss words or nothing. But immediately, if he says anything that a woman would do, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, that's why you haven't got another man.
Yeah.
But this is the problem is, it's like you are not allowed to criticize or say anything that could be taken in a slightly diss. If they say you need to adjust this way of thinking, or you need to work hard and do this, it's like, why is he so negative? Be positive.
You're working a little bit.
The problem.
You're working.
Oh, I said, why is it that they have to, she's like, why has he got to be so negative? And it's why can't he just all speak positive? I said, because evidently we should already know that just talking all the good points don't help. But yet you one of these people that say that these participation trophies and shit are horrible to students, but yet your ass don't want to take no damn criticism.
Right.
So as I said, not being able to be talked about, I'm not even gonna lie. They should bring this shit back. If you're fat, you're fat. If you're black, or whatever it is, you're going to be talked about. When people are sheltered from being talked about, every little thing, you build a very weak human being.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta piggyback off of that for a second. You notice anytime a black man has a standard, it's always controversial.
Yep. Like CJ.
Well, you gotta accept me as who I am. It's like this. I told a lot of females who've been interested with me, hey, you gotta get
Charles, they complaining about your feedback, honey.
Ooh,
my feedback.
Uncle Chuck.
They Uncle Chuck, they complaining about you. They said the feedback. Julian said it, and I think somebody else.
Just mute yourself if you're not talking, Charles. That's all.
Oh, okay. I was.
Go, finish your statement. Go.
Yeah, he was saying.
I'm probably because of these cars zooming up, and it's like smoking this damn cigar. But it's like anytime you do anything that's contrary to the fucking status quo, and you start coming out the matrix, like, wait a minute, you told me you like nice guys, but what the fuck? But your vagina keeps letting these not so nice guys fall in it. I said, but yeah, your baby father ain't shit, but I guess you must be the toilet because you keep catching them. So I'm just wondering, something does not compute. And when you start to see, this is the reason why they educate you to be a helper and not a leader. Because a helper is always going to be dependent on who he or she helps. A leader is supposed to be the person who's supposed to be forward thinking. He's a futurist. He has to look towards the group and with the best. And when you see somebody who's in power, do you ever think, and I had to tell somebody this story real quick. A general once told me in Iraq, he says, you ever see an idiot in middle management? That was purposely done so nobody at the top can have any fear of their positions being taken from them. And that's how it is in the black community. Like, first and foremost, I told a lot of people who Black Lives Matter and try to shame me for being a police officer, said, nigga, please, you need more of us. You're begging for your freedom. I'm demanding mine. That's a difference. I fought for mine. Huge difference. I have a right to be at the table because they can look at my fucking service and I'll be like, what up, nigga? Give me my shit.
Goofy broke niggas do that.
But here's the point. But I'm gonna just end it off with this one. I don't want to hear shit about anything until you fix your fucking boy problem. Till then, we don't have to talk.
Yeah. See, goofy dudes who are broken in, like they try to come after me because I used to serve in the Army. I served in the Army National Guard. They try to hit me with all these conspiracy theories about, oh, you in the Army. How can you worship the military?
Conspiracy theories?
Yeah, I call it conspiracy theories. Oh, you serving in the Caucasian man's army, brother. I'm trying to get a check like everybody else. If you're working for a corporation, you working for white daddy in corporate America, Caucasian daddy. Fair use, nigga, fair use. you know, or whatnot. They always hit me with that goofy stuff. One thing I want to say on a manhood tip, you know, Mr. Samuels in particular, I think it was an either art stream. No, I was on BGS's stream, I think, and I had mentioned something that Mr. Samuel said in his stream that I didn't agree with. And if you remember BGS, remember I don't quite agree with what he had to say, but there was a brother in the chat that called him all sorts of names I'm not going to repeat, and I was like, we're not going to do that. I can disagree with that man who's my superior. That's why I won't even say his full name. Because he's an image consultant. I mean, he does what he does in life. So, you know, first of all, we're not going to disrespect that man. I mean, he said something I didn't agree with. So be it. But you know, he stands in his shit. I stand in my shit. We move on with our lives. But we're not going to insult that man because he's doing great things in the Black community. So I'm not going to sit here and call him out of his name. You know, he is who he is, and I am who I am. But I don't agree with this whole idea that we should just insult people and insult other men. Because like I said, if Black men want to be in authority, we have to respect the authority of other men. I'm going to keep saying that. You have to respect the standards and the authorities of other men. That's all I got to say. But I wish these young cats would pay attention to that. You can't walk in and start insulting things because things don't go your way. You're acting just like your mama.
They're actually taught by women too, as far as women teachers.
Yeah,
so they do more feeling than thinking.
And the problem with that is the problem with them being taught like that is they think it works fine when they're younger, but as soon as they get older, 17, 18, 16, 17, 18, and they realize that bullshit where they're going to do something quick off of feelings, and they end up in jail for 6 and 7 years, destroying a part of their life because they don't realize the system comes down harder on men than it does women. I mean, certain things are just not acceptable. That's the reason why, if you ever notice, with any little small response, like you watch any of these videos where these Black guys are getting shot that are unarmed, if you see, it ain't like they were yelling and screaming at first. Like most of the time, we saw the person yelling and screaming, even we'll be like, well, yeah, we know he's going to get shot. But I mean, think about it. You don't even have to yell and scream and get shot. But how many times have you seen women yelling at the police? And they don't never pull out their guns. They don't never scream and holler back at them. And the problem is the problem. These boys are being raised by mothers only, and they don't let. Hey, look, I understand. Your mother can do that shit. Your mother can say that shit. Your mother can do all this other shit, and everything seems normal. You act even if you think about doing some shit like that. That's grounds to kill you as a man. Because the problem with them is they look at the problem is this. They look at it. The women can talk shit, scream and holler, but yeah, if she punched me, it probably ain't gonna hurt this, that, and the other. Where they say, okay, the dude, as soon as he gets upset, he might hit me with the one hitter quitter, and I may not get back up.
Yeah, or you might get shot. Because
but not even that. But I mean, some niggas might get hit you hard enough, and you ain't gonna never be able to get back up.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I was telling homeboy, I was like, dude, your mama was out here throwing her poon pie around to get attention from men and money from men and from daddy government. But all this, he was hitting me with the, oh, well, I'll pull up if you want smoke. And I said, brother, I'm an Army veteran in Texas. You're not going to pull up on me. You're not going to do that. You know, first of all, I don't even know where this guy lives at, but that's what you want.
Telling me Thomas and they gonna pull up. I'm like, pull up. Okay. I'm not gonna stop you.
Like, you'll get shot. Don't do that.
Like, I'm gonna stop you from pulling up. If you was gonna do it, you would have did it already.
Right.
Exactly.
Shit.
You know, I don't know. That's just how I think about it. I'm like, pull up. That I started hearing it last year. I was like, what you pull up? I told my dad about that. He was like, my mom just laughed about it. He was like, oh, they some kids. And then my dad was like, he said,
I sit here.
why they telling you what they gonna do? He said that's all some little kids
right. Cats that I know.
Well, not even that. What gets me on the YouTube people, like back when I was running shows, like I said, I've been around YouTube for years. I used to sit up here and say, all y'all content creators that's making content, right? I said, y'all sit up here and talk all this shit, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm the only motherfucker that's a content creator in this area that got actually a felony for beating the shit out of nigga with their bare hands. So I got the track record to prove it. I said, you can check the school records. I said, that's what I got my felonies for.
Damn.
I said, you know, I got into a fight. I said, so if anybody on here gonna sit up here and say, which nigga gonna actually talk shit, I'm the one with the felony to prove it.
Right.
You know what's funny?
I mean, let me ask you a question. Where's your felony? Where's your felony for doing it?
You know,
I said, as you see, my felony didn't stop me. I beat up a nigga 3 months ago.
You know what's so fucking funny about that shit, man? The first year and a half I was with BGS on his panels, man. And Nicole can attest to this. Everybody wanted to fight me.
Yeah, I understand
Nobody
that.
want to fight, man.
Because
Niggas don't fight no more, man.
Well, yeah, but besides that, it was you know, I was like, why are they going, like, Charles ain't, you know, what's going on? Like, they were just going in on you and stuff. I'm like,
the nigga from Baltimore.
They wanted to threaten to fight him on the internet. They didn't, because they could have caught a flight. Yeah. And Charles said, "I will pick you up, take you to the ring, and beat your ass."
And then I'll get you.
And nobody ever accepted the invitation.
I promise you. Do you understand what the Faulkners are called in Baltimore? Okay, this is the 5 generations of my family.
Fuck boy.
My grandfather fought in the army. My father has a 3rd-degree black belt in Shonru karate. He actually got a 2nd and 3rd in Okinawa. Which and you're a black man in Okinawa getting your belt, so that tells you something.
Hell yeah!
I've wrestled, boxed, and did MMA. My nephew did the same. We enjoy this shit. How do you think me and my friends get along? When we have an issue we can't settle, nigga, get the gloves.
Beat each other's ass.
And I'm like this. I like. And what's funny? If I can't beat you in a fight, I'm gonna hit you. I took my boy Darren to the range the other day because I was teaching him how to use a rifle. I put the target up far as possible. It was a 10% target. 10% target is when you see the guy holding the lady and the hostage and his face.
Yeah.
I told him. I said, I bet you $20 right now. I'm gonna hit him here, right in the glasses. All he heard was pop in the range, pop, hold it back. He was like, "You motherfucking show off." I said, "I don't have a scope. I can hit you 300 meters. Iron sights."
There you go. Oh, shit, iron sights?
Iron sights. I'm gonna hit you 300 meters.
That's what he did for 10 years. So he's an expert at it.
I'm an expert marksman.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, Charles. I'll box you. I'll probably get my ass beat, but it'd be fun just to do it. Yeah, I'm kind of one of them stupid motherfuckers. I like to fight just for fun.
I would actually respect you. I'm not even saying I'm the baddest motherfucker walking, but
you got me by weight. You got too much weight on me.
I'll respect you as a man. Think about it. I have a job in one of the most dangerous cities in Baltimore. Like confrontation is part of the gig. Like,
but no
that's what gets me real quick. It's like
the worst city and a cop.
Yeah, they lose in Baltimore 1 and 2, and they flop. They switch places.
Shoot, I don't even rock with Baltimore cats like that. I'm from Flint. That's why dude was doing all this pull-up stuff. And I said, brother, we're known in Flint for our gunplay. Like even the nerds.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. The nerds have guns. That's true.
The guy, Joe. I was just thinking about something. Y'all was talking about the moms and stuff. Like, I wonder, because I did that. Well, it was just an impromptu ramble, as you saw, for the Angela, what's her name? Angela Stanton King.
Okay. Oh yeah. I had to finish listening to that. That was funny.
I can't. That hair was killing me. I had to freeze it right there. That hair was shaking. I said, I got to. No, ma'am. That's a no, ma'am, right there. She had the tattoos popping. She had the white usher church lady outfit on. I was like, I'm done. And she's talking to Rolly, and Rolly beat you in a debate.
You know what Dr. Ronald called her. He said that's what happens when you have a former trap queen running for Congress.
Former trap queen,
former trap queen, yeah.
And then run up in prison and then come out because Master Trump done helped me, and I'm out here. And now she says she's running for the District of Georgia. Woman.
Georgia is a
state. I didn't go into a bunch of detail, because I was like, I started feeling hot. I literally started feeling like, the heat was rising on my back.
Why do you think I call you Dr. Banner?
You know what?
I could feel the heat. I was like, oh shit. I sat up like, oh gosh.
There's one thing that Nicole cannot stand on this world is a Southern strag.
Oh no, you can't stand the worst. Did your finger go up? Did your finger go up like this? Did your finger go up like this? Like
What is
this?
Like,
hold it, it up and point. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I can't. I just felt the heat. And I was like, when I was recording, I was fanning. I was like, damn, I can't. Why am I getting so hot? When I get hot like that, it's because I'm really, really upset. And I was like, I gotta turn this shit off. I can't, because I'm gonna do a part 2. And I said, man, fuck it, I don't care, because
the only person that goes in on tracks worse than you is Grinch.
Yeah, I can't. Grinch, he can have that. He has that. He can have that. Like the heat is killing me. Like I gotta go to work, man. Like he can have that. I give him that. He can do it way better than me. I ain't seen nobody except my grandfather go in on strags, and I didn't even know what a strag was at the time.
He was like, I can't do this bitch.
He went on women that I look back on and I'm like, you know what? That was a strag,
Grinch is a blessing, man. Because people used to tell me that I act way more older than I act, but Grinch is a brother. Because Grinch and I are the same age. That brother has far more wisdom than I do, and I know his backstory. I'm not going to repeat it, but I'm aware of his backstory. I mean, I don't quite know it, but some of the stuff he says, man, like Grinch has a bit of a hood vibe, but the brother is just bright. And I met Grinch off of Art of Ibmore stream. I say this all the time, but BGS and these guys were talking about Dune, and there was a simp, I ain't gonna say his name. They came on trying to check the Manosphere, and Grinch lit his ass up like the 4th of July. And I was like, I have to follow this brother. So, I'm just amazed at some of the brilliant minds that we have in the Manosphere. And we're blessed to have all these minds that we do. Given, because a lot of you brothers could have just said, fuck this Manosphere shit. I'm going to go off to the sunset and mind our own business. But you guys have coalesced and brought so much material to the younger generations of brothers that I'm just in awe. And I'm appreciative of shit like this.
It's fucked up, It's real fucked up in the Black Manosphere. If we were white, we would be rich.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, y'all would be.
Think about it. You literally have somebody in fucking STEM right now. And how many people are picking her brain on how to get into STEM right now?
Nobody is. As a matter of fact, when I start my platform on Guerrilla Finance, I'm studying for my CPA right now.
But I'm very proud of you for doing that.
What was that?
I'm very proud of you for doing that. It's very.
I have to. Yeah. You kind of got me back on the ball off that shit, but I got to get back on the ball anyway, just because of what I want to do in my career. But you kind of got me to get about that lazy mindset. But I can't talk to these brothers from that professional position. You have to kind of break things down, and I don't mean that to be honest. I'm not trying to insult anybody. And quiet as a skip, I really didn't want to sun dude in that stream the way that I did, because I don't want to come off as higher than thou to my own people. But the problem is that, the unfortunate reality is that you do have a bunch of niggas out here that think they can throw their little bussy around like their mama could when she had her little coochie. And that's how they act, that welfare mentality. Right. But I do want to do, the small video clips. And I am going to do it on, I'm going to call it SYSBM financing, essentially. Keep it very small.
Well, I think if you talk about things like, for me, with the Angela Stanton King, strag thing, I mean, it's, for me, she just happens to be the item of the week, but it's a mentality and a personality that I'm really speaking to. And most people that are on my channel, they know the difference. Like, they know I'm not talking about her. I could care less about her. She could take a quick weave blue in hair somewhere and sit down. I don't care about her. It's the mentality. I think too many women out here like her, the same physicality, everything, the way that she's jumping from one thing to another. She never made a conclusion statement to what she was doing. She never made it clear on what she wanted.
They scared the fuck out of me. Shut up, Papa.
She didn't have a platform.
I'm sorry. I thought I was muted.
Oh Lord. So
I'm
sorry.
He's arguing with his candygram. That's what he's doing right now.
You know she can hear you.
I know she can hear me. I'm gonna ask her mic up in a minute so she can get on. You know I am.
So what, she found out you from Cleveland?
Oh goodness.
Nah, what I said. You know I am with the. I ran BGS for Women for 2.5 years. I know how to talk to them.
Oh yeah.
But I just feel like that's
trust me. You can't hang with me, BGS.
Hey, look, I got the child support payments to prove it, Negro.
Mine's are done, man. I paid them longer than you.
All right. I got the child. So think about it. Think about it. As much as I've been on the show talking about this bullshit about women, and you surprised that not one of my baby mamas ain't never showed their face because they know they can't. That's plain and simple. You don't want to get on my bad side because they know the old Dre used to roast people horrible. Y'all just get little snippets of what I used to be. They know do not wake up a sleeping giant.
Oh, you just got a snippet of the bad twin. Okay, you ain't seen the angry twin yet. Okay,
BGS. One day for fun, we had to do a show. Me on you. Okay. See who can roast. Everything's on the table. We can roast like 10-minute roast contest.
All right.
We roast each other.
All right.
I'm down.
That reminds me, I gotta do this stream with Arda Ibmore one-on-one because we were talking about the millennials versus the boomers and whatnot. And I think you guys heard what I said on that stream where I was talking about, well, millennials, we should be pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps, but I was talking about how we weren't left anything. I was arguing from the standpoint of we weren't left anything economically. And he was talking, and because there were so many folks in the panel, I was like, you know what? I think man to man, we should do a stream so we can articulate our points one-on-one. I gotta get with them on that.
Let me tell you something, Gino.
What's up?
Nobody ever pulled themselves up by the bootstraps.
I get it.
The reason why you have the assumption. You have the assumption that the generations before you were left something.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, as millennials, you think you've done a raw deal because you're looking at white boys and you're comparing yourself to them, right? Okay, you really weren't even allowed to freaking buy houses, especially in the cities, until 1968. Okay.
Okay.
And so, whereas white people had 150-year head start on us. Okay.
Right.
So you expect
1968?
The Fair Housing Act under Johnson was 1968. Did you not look at the bankers?
Matter of fact, look at Baltimore. We're the city that pretty much originated redlining, and it still happens to this day.
It still happens to this day. In fact, I was just talking to an agent, a broker, about 6 months ago. He said they redline your name. Okay, there's such a thing called a black tax. Okay, it's less now than it was. Okay. Getting a loan was damn near impossible as a black person until 1968 when Johnson actually passed that law.
Yeah, right. Matter of fact, this is how they used to do it.
You're saying my family was nice to own 2 properties back then.
Hold on, Joe.
Yeah,
you got to think about it. There's streets in Baltimore that are like a block or 2 blocks apart.
Mm-hmm.
One house can be valued at $75,000-$85,000.
Right.
A block away. It's the same architecture, right?
Mm-hmm.
A block away because that's where the cutoff line is. $350,000.
Yep.
And people forget. That's the reason why I told Joe. I said you gotta look at history.
Mm-hmm.
Before criminal justice, I was going for history, okay? Because a lot of people in the black community are always doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
Why? Think about it. You've actually been left a lot of shit. You know what happens? I'll give you an example in Baltimore. A lot of people leave their houses to their children or grandchildren, especially the grandchildren, because everybody was coked up from the fucking 80s. So a lot of these children leave the houses, and guess what? Guess what happens? All you got to do is pay $5,000 in taxes, which is very fucking easy. You got the house. Motherfuckers won't even pay it and will let the house go. So a lot of people will actually get something left behind by the boomers. And what happened? They fuck it up.
They fuck it up. Yeah, a lot of Gen Xers did. They fucked it up. Yeah. I mean, there's this is a cycle amongst black people. If you got to remember, you just in the past 40 years, you've had 10 housing crashes in the past 40 years. Had four banking crises. You know, you had 4 banking crises that took people's houses in the last 40 years.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, you think that's? I'm telling everybody, and nobody's believing me on this. You think that these 4 last housing crashes we done had, that ain't gonna be shit in about 8 or 9 months from now, from this COVID shit. Yeah. If you got a property in an area where they want that property, or like a big business want that property, you're fucked.
Yeah,
they are about to be stealing the wealth from so many black people right now. It ain't funny.
Yeah, well, not just black people, but all people. But the thing is that we
especially us, we get taxed worse.
Well, the thing is, what millennials are actually going to have to find out. They're going to find what they're made of during this crisis.
Yep,
they can't talk no more. They're going to find out what they're made of. Can you rise to the occasion?
Well, I ain't gonna lie, BJS. Think about it. Now you just know what type of work I do, right? Mm-hmm. I just went back to. I ain't gonna lie. After the bullshit, I got a job now.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I had to, because I mean, I just couldn't bank on what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And think about it. You would never see me get 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm telling motherfuckers, you better go swoop out. I'm telling these people, nigga, you better start to go swoop up whatever you can right now.
Yeah. Shit, that's why I'm working by myself right now. But no, I didn't want to derail this topic. Like I said, that's why I'm gonna get with Art. I'm gonna go on his platform. I'm not gonna do it on my platform because I'm going to his shit. And you know, we're gonna challenge each other's points. You know, and probably get you on there, VGS, and you can go ahead and check me on there.
It's hard to.
The thing is, normally I'm kind. I don't really go in on you guys. If I get mad, then I really go in on you millennials, okay? Because you can all go back and look up Trophy Kids in Wall Street Journal. They've been talking about you guys since the mid '90s.
Yeah,
since millennials. Yeah. Okay, this is not new, and we know because they took out the SWATs in the classroom. They took about all the discipline out of the schools when you guys are coming. Because in 1987 they took all the discipline out of the schools. So you guys weren't able to be touched. You had all these child protective laws. You guys were actually babied. All of you were actually babied. You taught all this stuff.
They can hit in our school. In my school that I went to when I was younger, for the first till I was about 7, 8 years old, they could do that. But I do admit, you know, I ain't gonna lie, they need to bring that shit back.
Aren't you?
The problem is, they need. Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. A lot of these kids need to be knocked out.
But after the 1990s, you could not even leave your kids at home by themselves without Child Protective Services actually taking you down for child abuse. Okay, a lot of stuff that happened with us, with boomers, and even Gen Xers that you couldn't do with the millennials because they changed all the laws. You guys are baby.
You know what also happened to millennials? Millennials and Z suffer from like a delayed adulthood.
They do.
Yeah, we do.
And what happens is you see it in the military, you see it in the police department, where you know there's an actual charge against an officer called cowardice, just like in the military.
Yeah, it's true.
They're scared to act. You took a uniform, you took a goddamn oath. You see something that's going down, that's wrong. You have to act on it.
Yep.
And you had some people who were former number 2 officers. Well, they retired years ago. Was a number two officer in the whole department, and was charged with cowardice 4 times.
Wow.
So how the fuck do you allow this shit? Because a lot of times you got to remember, as the SAS motto is, he who dares wins.
Yeah.
A lot of this shit is not daring. It's oh well, I couldn't do it because of this. Like BGS one time said, he said, wait a minute, 1 to 17, you can blame your parents if you choose to. After 18, it's on you.
Grown ass man. That's why I tell cats when I left the home back when I was a teenager, I ran away. And see, I know folks have these stories of their mama kicking them out. Me and my mama couldn't get along when I was a teenager. I left. and that was it. And we got back cool 10 years later, but I left and I took responsibility for that. Whatever happened to me after I left that house is my fault, So it is what it is. You have to take, even that situation with my little strag, that was my situation. BGS got in my ass. He was like, "You saw what you saw." She was top heavy, and she yeah. But that was my fault because I was already warned by my friends. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know what I'm doing. No, clearly I didn't.
No, you did.
Clearly I didn't. So. And it is what it is. But no, ultimately, there's a level of responsibility. One question I want to ask Judge Dre, aren't you Gen X, brother?
I was born in 78.
Yeah, you're Gen X.
Okay. Gen X.
Yeah. Anybody from 85 on up. So
but see, basically, I'm like this. I was still kind of raised, as you say, old school.
Yeah.
I still had, this is the problem. I was raised where, I say this, what actually even helped me, I'll say this, helped me become even as efficient and more as outgoing and can do everything now, is because when I was younger, my mom didn't get her first actually good paying job until I was about 12. And my mom didn't start making good money until then. But by the time I hit like 9, 10, I had my hustle going. Like the reason why I can do so much, I had grass shoveling snow for people, helping out around the house. So like literally, I was money motivated. I remember being 8, 9 years old and having $200-$300. And for an 8, 9 year old, and you got $300, that's a lot of fucking money when you really think about it. And I remember back then, think about it, minimum wage was only $4 back then when I was like 8. Minimum wage like $3.75, $4. And they think about it, you an 8 and 9 year old and you got $300 in your pocket. I mean, by the time I turned 10, like I said, I got my first job. I had begged the dude so many times to work for a job. I remember the guy he's like, man, this is the owner of the store here. He said, man, this little kid come in every day. He asked for a fucking job. He's like, man, can we just try this dude out and just see? He's like, I've never seen a child want to work as good as much as he wants to. Within like 4 months after I started working, I remember the owner of the store, my mama came in and he's like, oh, this is your son? He's like, yeah, because she met him there. He said, like, man, if I had like 5 or 6 more just like him, I'd be straight. He said, it's just not enough. It's just not enough. He works his ass off. He said, this is my best employee. And what's so bad? He's my youngest.
Yeah. Kind of how it is.
But it was just the fact that I've been promoted. Like, no matter where I go, it's like if they don't look at my record, I'm going to get hired. Like, I ain't going to lie. I had this interview for this company that I went for now. And I mean, it was a group interview. Like, before I even got in a car and got 2 minutes away, we were calling you back to offer you the position.
Wow.
I mean, like, long as I said, the only time, because they even asked me, I said, well, why have you been working for yourself? I told them, I said, I'm not going to lie. Dude tried to break in my house. I beat the crap out of him. This was like 20 years ago.
Amen.
And I've been working for myself ever since.
As you should.
I said, it's just what it's been.
And that's why,
like, they asked me, well, wait a minute. You can do that. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be in charge. I may be in a position to hire other contractors. So, all the black people going to be put on first.
Amen. That's how you do. But see, that's
by the way, and real quick, shout out to my favorite millennial, Josh, is listening. Josh, he's a cop too, and he's a New Yorker. So every time the Orioles and Yankees come to town, there's always some shit between us. But he's like he's one of the exceptions to the rule. You think he was like 10, 15 years older? I mean, his money management skills, his saving skills. I was like, man, you sure your last name ain't Epstein, man? God damn.
No, I hope not. Compared to what
I never see the motherfucker who says I'm broke and can have $5,000 in his account.
That's amazing.
Well, that's when you put itself on a budget. I remember used to say, like, I called myself being broke when I spent my spendable cash. That was always my thing. Like literally, I remember all of my friends, they first cars was like 10 years old, 11 years old. My first car was like 14 months old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when most people going to buy an old car. My first car, I ain't gonna lie, my first car was gonna be a new car if my mom would have let me buy the car and co-sign with for me then.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? Literally, my mom was like, I don't think you can handle it. And then she's like, why you needed a car? You can just drive mine anytime you want. But no, you know how it is.
Yeah.
As soon as the motherfucker get mad at you, they take the car away. Because I ain't gonna lie. The only reason why, how everybody had something to do, like I say, I wasn't the best student and I could have got way better grades than I did. And I ain't gonna lie, maybe too. The only reason why I even got grades that was decent enough, because I knew if I didn't get decent enough grades, my mom would take the car away. Because my mom had no life. She was one of those ones come home in the afternoon. So boom, the car was mine. So I knew if I had to, if I didn't do my shit right, then the first thing she gonna take the ride. I ain't gonna be able to roll.
Yeah, hard consequences. You know, I got it. I really when I get my stream up, I'm gonna do a little summary of my life story because I am actually the quintessential millennial. I was babied. I was spoiled. I learned the lessons of hard life when I left the house and I got robbed. Like I learned a lot of crazy lessons over the years. That's why I have a high respect for, you know, a lot of those who came before us. The reason why I titled that my live stream the way that I did was, first of all, I wasn't going to give Homeboy any attention. So he's not going to get no attention out of me. But I titled it, I think I've already said it before, Generation Z, you know, the mirrors, or basically our reflections of the millennials' iniquity. Because like I said, you know, when I was his age, I was arguing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Haterazzi. He's a good brother out here. Who used to do. He actually put Jason Black in. He was actually cool with Jason Black and Tariq back in the day. But he used to run a very good podcast, and he's bringing it back actually. But he had not gotten to it because back when I was like 24, 25, he was trying to put me on game on these black feminists, and I was going back and forth because I was on my August Alsina Jada Smith shit. You know, I was out here piping some of these old bars. And I was like, no, man, you know, we do got privilege and all sort of goofy shit. So I was acting just like Homeboy towards an OG who was putting me in game. we actually got back cool last year. I actually reached out to him and apologized to him on some man-to-man shit. Because I was like,
he just goes in. I think he just goes in a little too hard on certain things, but you know, he makes sense. The things that he says, it may not make sense right then. But you like later on, you be like, oh man,
that's a good brother. I mean, actually, he gave me his number a couple years ago. I actually called him up and was like, hey, I apologize. You were right about that shit. Because he warned me. He was like, when you start caping for these liberals and these super liberal cats or whatnot, they're going to eat themselves. They're going to be like Ouroboros. It's going to be the snake that eats itself. And that's what happened. You know, I got consumed. So, you know, I had to chop it up with him like, hey, man, you were right. Like, I apologize. I was completely wrong. But that came with time and experience. And, you know, I was kind of mean to do. He pissed me off, but it is what it is. But honestly, I hope the young brother learned something from it, just like how I had to learn the hard way. So he's like a mirror of myself when I was his age. You know, that's why I was saying, you know, we millennials, you know, we were the bigger brothers to Gen Z. So they're adopting how we acted. And I'm sitting here thinking if Gen Z is that bad, then these alphas that we're giving birth to right now, oh, Lord.
I can respect. These ain't falling for the bullshit anymore.
You're underwater, Charles. We can barely hear.
Yeah, you definitely.
Get air,
yeah. I don't know what's happening with your mic.
Leave and come back. It's got that Baltimore shit on it.
What about now?
Yeah, it's still bad.
It's still horrible. You probably stole it from somebody in Cleveland.
That's why it's so shitty.
Brown wireless.
Right.
That's just like the team shitty.
Well, this team ain't that shitty. You stole them and won a Super Bowl.
Well, that's because we had to dust off the old shit.
Go out, come here, Charles.
Now leave and come back so we can hear you clear.
He's still underwater. He doing his water aerobics and stuff. his aqua therapy.
you know, I'll never like him.
That's why we had to dust off all the old shit.
You on Bluetooth, Charles?
No, I'm actually outside. What about
now? Yeah,
you sound horrible, dog.
In the water,
you sound shittier than your team.
Where's the phone at? Where you holding the phone at?
Yeah, they grew.
I'm outside the district.
Turn your phone off and turn it back on. Probably that cheap ass Baltimore phone.
Using an ICBC college
You done got the lines messed up.
That's what.
One of them got the line.
Guess what? You'll never get a win called the Browns, huh? That's like your goddamn phone system. You know the reason. You know the reason why they call the Browns.
Y'all got the same color on in the pictures though. That just kills me.
He sound like he called
the same color. Yeah, they're more alike than they are different.
Right.
He sounds like he's calling up the payphone from ICBC College.
Glasses on, he got the strags.
It don't matter. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna box Charles for the fun of it. And I'll say it now. If the Cleveland people win, they're gonna be voting for me. I'm like, yeah, boy, you better beat that Baltimore motherfucker. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit his ass first. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit him and I'm gonna run. Then after I run, then I'm gonna wait till he chase me because he think he don't like to chase people. See, I pay attention. And he said, no, I ain't chasing. After I let him stay just close enough. Then when he tire out, I turn around and beat his ass in.
You gonna run? You got the electric light.
I'm just gonna Ray Lewis tackle you. That's it. Something that you
I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run fast. I can run faster than you. I know that. So then what I got to do is I got to hit and run, but allow you to chase me, make you think you're gonna get close enough to get me. Then after you run out of breath, I turn around and beat your ass in.
Here's the question. Who said? I'm
skinny tall niggas got to learn how to fight with. We got to use our strength to advantage.
Yeah, you know what you do? You hit him in the body once, and when he's gasping for air, you hit him again.
Right. See, all I got to do is throw a donut on the ground, dude. You are a cop, man.
All I got to do is throw some Cleveland water. All I got to do is throw a bottle of water because the reason why they call them the Browns is because when they turn their faucets on, that's all they see.
I ain't gonna lie. A bottle of water wouldn't work. Now, see, you don't watch me sitting around in the background. If you threw a bottle of Pepsi on the ground, you might get me there.
Oh, Lord. Oh, looks like Uncle Chuck fixes Everest College payphone over there.
This nigga got going in on the streams, man. What be going on?
Oh, this nigga got jokes from his
going in. Talking over BGS, I was like, "Don't you talk over him?"
No, you don't do that. BGS is like a hollow saying.
I was like, what did he say?
What?
BGS like, hold up, or something like that. You were like, one at a time, and then LaShawn was like, no, I gotta say this.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, you can't.
You can't stop. You gonna get kicked out, man.
I know, right?
Hey, where'd he go?
No, BGS.
By the way, I gotta say this real quick. Gino got jokes with his PhD from Trump University and shit.
Oh, you got me in that one, brother.
Hey, I got a question. Is it mandatory mask in your areas? I was just looking on here. Yeah. My girlfriend just showed me. She said they about to make it mandatory right now in Cleveland. You got to wear a mask. Mandatory.
Yeah, Texas, yes.
In Los Angeles, in California too. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they ain't done it here in Cleveland yet.
It's so messed up out here because it's been so
right. Well, I know she just told me. She showed me the thing that they're talking about. It's about to be mandatory within a day.
Mid-90s and stuff, but it's top. Like today, it was like mid-90s or whatever in this area. I was like, man, we got a pool right outside. The hot tub. Like, we can't even go out there.
Oh, you can't?
No, can't even go. Like, can't do anything. You're not supposed to go and all this stuff. I was like, fine, whatever. The neighborhood is just kind of like shut down, and people in their house, like they just in the house, and looking out, little kids looking through the fence, like they like they're just so miserable. Yeah. They can just look at the pool. They can't go in, and oh my goodness, we were coming home from work one day, and this whale just decided she was gonna jump the fence and get in there. She was just too hot.
Was she white?
Too hot to handle.
Did you yell Free Willy?
Yes, and she wanted to free herself into the pool or whatever. And I was like, and security came. Like, I think she actually got in there. She had her feet in there, whatever, her legs. And I was like, she about to jump in there. She didn't get in there, but they were like, get out. She would have. I guarantee you she would have just bounced right in there. And I was like, why are you just, if it was me, I would just ran and jump. But she just like taking her time, I guess, testing the waters, whatever. If you're gonna do it, just go do it. But you're gonna get in trouble anyway. And nobody wants to touch a slippery person. And all you have to do if they catch you is just cough and run off. But, yeah, he was like, you got to get out of the pool. You can't be in there. Neighborhood shut down. Blah, blah. And so she gets out and like then she's just so like, what's that white girl that was on Ridiculousness? What's that girl? She tried to act black as a white girl, but she was just, you can't touch me. You can't touch me. I was like, girl,
meet me outside. How about that?
That type of girl. I was like, oh.
No, Southern Strag. Huh? Well, not a white Southern Strag.
Oh, that's a mortal enemy right there.
It's funny. You guys talk about Southern Strags. You guys know, statistically speaking, you guys have some validity in that. They were talking about that the states with the highest single mother rates and highest domestic violence rates are actually in the southern states. So Southern Strags ain't shit. They're awful.
No,
it's really bad. Yeah, right now everybody being inside and then like half inside, half not inside. It's too much. Like when everybody was inside, it was just, I said, I already kind of knew.
Yeah.
With kids, domestic violence stuff's going up. Somebody gonna say something wrong. But to being at home on their Twitter, Instagram, and and I said some dude gonna get mad because he gonna have to still go to work and she ain't going to work. And he got you already know, like every man already knows because I know because Jason deals with it. Like, bring your ass out the bathroom. I gotta go. I gotta take a shower. I gotta go to work. Shit. Like, what you doing in there? You've been in there for hours.
I'm so glad. Okay, I'm so glad.
Like, just 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. You said it an hour ago.
I don't think y'all understand how grateful I am that I was able to keep my strag out back in November. Because if I had to deal with her right now, oh my Lord!
Oh man.
If you couldn't kick her out, man, she'd have laid them boobies on you and been all over anyway.
Oh, this brother.
Oh Lord. See, I could understand if it was an ass. Like, you know what? If she was just drag and she wore something, whatever fucking adjective you want to use to describe this person, and she was built like Bria Miles, I'd be like,
where everybody got their weakness.
Oh, nigga, I would have. She was built like Bria Miles and had that skin tone too. Oh, I'd be on child support right now. That'd be it.
And I'd have dropped twins off in her like a fucking
see, and that's the problem right there.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
But I've been strong.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there.
I would have been strong. I would have been like, you know what? I can't. Like, Charles, can we talk? Yeah, at your house.
Like I tell my ex, boy, I had 2 kids, but by a dark woman, and basically, I tell you, never trust a big butt and a smile. Never trust it,
especially when they wear them Nike shorts. Good God Almighty!
Yeah, I remember those too. There was Adidas shorts at the time.
Oh, Jesus!
Y'all bring it back.
You're not fighting fair.
It is what it is.
It's funny. Every time I want to get my way, I'll just put on a V-neck shirt, and she'll say the same. You're not fighting fair. Like shit. The neighbor women be looking. Hi, Charles.
Give me some hey, Mrs. Parker shit. This nigga.
He is who he is.
I ain't shit.
I'm about to wrap this.
Yes, ma'am. What did you cook? Oh, you cooking chicken tacos? I hate you.
That's what I did was because I learned this from somebody. I did one of my friends. So I seasoned chicken, marinated everything for a while. In the oven, 400 for like I don't know, 15 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And then took it out, and so it has like it's kind of like crispy and Cajun style, not burnt. But Cajun style, and then but see when you do that, it's like it gets a little dry to me. So then she was like, "Okay, we'll just put it in the saute pan, and then that's when you shred it up and everything."
Okay.
And add some water and let it simmer for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then I went from there. So that worked.
Okay.
That helps.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's back up for a second. She's a goddamn scientist.
No, I just.
And a cook.
She's easy on the eyes, as we can see from the picture.
Yeah.
Really? You should have seen her on Facebook.
And she cooks.
You should have seen her.
Well, we have to eat something. So I was like,
wait a minute. I'm gonna find your ass. Your name on there is what, Nicole out. I'm gonna find your ass. And I'll be like, no wonder that motherfucker ain't leave.
Jason ain't going nowhere, man. Don't worry.
He ain't going nowhere.
He keeps coming like, y'all done yet? Y'all done yet?
I keep telling her chicks like her.
No. Okay.
Until Jason looked to short the oil stock because the capacities.
Yeah, he was talking about that the other day. I was like, he's asking me about it. I was like, I don't know. You gotta tell me.
He wants you to pass on. Pass it on.
He was just asking me.
He like, can you ask
I don't
me?
know. One day, hopefully he'll come on. I don't know. We'll see.
All you gotta do is send me a message. Actually, put the chart up in the community tab.
Right. He said it's gonna be weird if he's on here talking like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" It's my face.
That's true. Wait a minute. Transgender, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I said, okay, well, I can have a name like what is it called? Like Nick.
All you gotta do is swap out the avatar.
Yeah, I told myself that's not hard to do, but whatever. Yeah. And one day he'll come on here and talk about. I guess he wants to talk about his probably stocks and stuff and his and stuff he does.
There you go.
On the side. That's something I think that young people will probably want to hear about. Anybody really, but especially young people that are getting into that more, especially right now when they have time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be very beneficial.
Man, I should have put stock in the Lysol. I'd have been
Lysol, Zoom. There's a lot of ways you can actually do it. You could have bought oil stocks at the bottom. Yeah.
No. You messed up, guys. You know what stock you should have bought?
What's that?
I was pissed. I said I was going to buy it. It's called stock called U1. That stock went from $1 to 45 at 1 month.
Damn.
In less than a day.
What was it called?
U1. It's trading at about $18 now.
Okay.
But it was only like $1 and some change. And within a day and a half, it went to 45.
So basically,
can you imagine $1,000 in that 45,000?
I've seen it happen. What caused you to pick it? That's a penny stock. What caused you to pick it?
Well, because basically it judges with black. With like endeavors involving black people and like black social media, all that.
Okay.
And I was sitting there. That's why I had looked into it, and I was so bad. I meant to get up that morning and buy a couple shares because I was only gonna buy 20 shares or whatever. But it was like, fuck, man, I would have just. And what's so bad? It fluctuated so much. If you would have got like in and then out and then back in and back out a couple times, it was some traders that made $100,000 in like 3 days on that stock.
If you know it's gonna pop and there's a penny stock.
It's still been like here. Let me look at it now. I'm gonna tell you how much it's trading for now.
Penny stocks are really volatile. Yeah, they usually trade on news, but they're going from 1 to 45. Yeah, that's a big pop.
You know what I might do tonight? I might surprise everyone tonight. I might start a live stream tonight.
It's called Urban One.
Okay,
it's trading right now for $19.35.
Okay.
But it's high. Just give an example. It's high with 50. Oh, it hit $54. Damn, I was even.
Yeah, that's a pop. Somebody bought some.
Yeah. I might have to start a live stream tonight.
Yes. You listed it on YouTube as not YouTube, but Google is. It must have started at $1.92.
Yeah, it started at 50. It was only like $1.90 when I was at. But just to give an example, I had bought a couple shares of it, and I didn't buy it. I was so pissed. Oh man, it was like because I knew.
Your next tail fucking up, Judge. Your next tail fucking up, man. Got to upgrade your phone, player.
Yeah. It popped yesterday. So yeah, it was just popped yesterday.
Chaos, you gonna talk to me? You gonna stay on mute? Because I know you were sending me a message earlier.
Let me subscribe to Uncle Chuck real quick. I didn't know I wasn't subscribed to him.
Hold on, let me turn this TV.
Hey, Chaos, you there?
Chaos Rain. What's up? Chaos is one of my old names back in the day.
I might start since you could do it off your phone now, and I'm connected to the phone, so I might. Hey, Chaos, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey,
we might have to start a live stream tonight.
Shit, why not?
Okay.
You be up all night.
Chaos, you had something you want to tell me?
Yeah, Urban One Classic.
I had to find the video now because I never took it during social media. I heard about it until actually it was actually played, and I had to hear it more than once to see if she really did say that. And she did say that, but now I gotta search through the stupid social media to find it. I didn't really want to.
You did say that?
This is on what's on IG or Facebook? It's one of them things. I can't remember which one.
That's the thing. If they just, I don't care really if they say stuff. I have to hear it because what we're talking about is that asking about the one of the videos I did recently, and he was like, "Am I gonna?" What was it you asked? Like, am I gonna say something about Melinda Gates? Do I?
Oh no! I don't think I said something, but I don't know if that's what I said in the comment section. But I said when they said they got the vaccine, they're gonna test it on blacks and Puerto Rican, brown people first, then white people last, because they said we're the poorest. And I say, interesting.
Yeah, well, there's I have a theory about that, but I'm not gonna say it.
Right. That's why I was like,
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. It's weird because hold on, you went out and said that shit on air recording. That's why I had to really play it again to make sure it was.
France tried to do it like 3 months ago in I forget what country it was. I think it was Cote d'Ivoire. They tried to do it in Cote d'Ivoire. They actually burned down the clinic. We said, you're not testing that shit on us. But there's probably a reason why they want to test it on black people. I don't think they want to test a vaccine. I think they want to test.
Well, they're testing in Africa right now. BTS. So I won't be surprised.
They tried to test it in Africa. They refused it. They burnt down the clinic.
Oh,
they're not test. That's how come they haven't moved someplace else.
And they're not gonna.
They threatened They threatened to kill the doctors.
Oh wow, good.
But at the same time, if you do that, it's not as good as you think it is, because you threaten to kill the doctors and other people that need medical support that aren't able to get it.
No. They threatened because there's a group of there's a group that actually went to, I think it was Cote d'Ivoire. I think it was one in South Africa, right? And they wanted to test that. I think I know about the French group, but I think South Africa they tried to kill the doctors. The ones in Cote d'Ivoire that came from France to actually test this. Okay, test a vaccine. This was early on, right? It's like like in March. I think it was April, and then they burnt down the clinic. They threatened to kill those doctors.
Okay,
test the vaccine, not all doctors, just those that came out to test the vaccine. And they threatened to kill the doctor. I do believe they threatened to kill the doctors in South Africa too.
The medical community for a minute with different things happening. People women being sterilized in Kenya, issues with that fake female doctor going out there and killing all them kids, and didn't have it trying to figure what to do with that.
Yeah. Okay. It's basically the white people in Europe's fertility rate is 1.2, which is not sustainable, right? And the fertility rate just across the Mediterranean is like 5.7. Okay, that's unsustainable as far as demographics. That's why they're trying to slow the demographics of the African population down.
Yeah. Even as go as far as if they have to eliminate, they will do that just to keep up with the numbers.
And like I said, we could say it, but
I'm just going with what he said, what BGS said, because
yeah. What I'm saying is we're not gonna say it on here. We're not gonna say it on the cold stream, right? Because it's very controversial. It'll be if we're gonna say anything like that, we will do it on my Patreon stream.
Like the stuff we were talking about earlier today. Where you get more into, of course, Peak Prosperity, you can watch that wherever, but with Chris on his platform, but a lot of things that you can you can extrapolate from what he was saying, like from every segment, because he goes very fast, which is fine with me, but other people need it like, in a little bits at a time, because it's a very complex thing, and he doesn't seem like he comes off like a conspiracy theorist. He's just telling you what it is and letting you figure it out on your own.
He has a PhD in one of those biosciences.
Of course, yes, yeah. So he can go into detail with. I mean, I could tell like which one it probably is because he spent more time on that section, and into a lot of detail that wasn't on the slide. He's very well versed and knowledgeable in immunology and probably virology as well. So that's important for a person that's going to be presenting that type of stuff. At least he's worked with it. He may not be like a virologist, but you could tell he has a lot of background.
Yeah,
that's important. And people that were, but I noticed like his comments, because I watched it the first time to see the video. I watched it the second time to just mostly read the comments. And reading the comments, I was like, okay, it's like vaccine, pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine. I said, they missing the point. Like I'm looking up trials and looking up, like when I was emailing, like the different arms of of this trial, it's just different doses of mRNA. And so, Don Calypso and I going back and forth, like what type of mRNA are they going to do? Is it going to be a silencing mRNA that targets the virus and destabilizes it or deactivates it? That would be good, because then it's a pretty foolproof method, and that can be patented. And please, I wish Black folks stop saying that you can patent the virus. Please, please, please stop saying
They hear white people say it and then they repeat it. Yeah, I've been telling that they had basically this. They actually the UN actually made that declaration. I think it was back in 90. I want to say 95 when they did that, because India was having that issue because I think it was one of the biochemical conglomerates in the United States was trying to patent seeds, patent plants and stuff like that, and they said you can't patent life. So they came with a ruling, can't patent life. So it was a UN ruling.
Yeah, it's like Bayer, Monsanto, and
it was Monsanto. Exactly. Monsanto.
Yeah.
So you can patent a process, but you can't patent life. So you can't patent.
Yeah. So what they have in Korea is, the one that the guy posted in your comment section, and I think it was the same video, the Thai City and Rona video. And I'm looking at the comments. I'm like, he said, "Man, BGS, this is the patent right here, for the virus." I'm like, no, he said you can't patent life. I typed in like, BGS, why are you wasting your time? And I was like, man, he already knows. I just didn't comment. And he gonna post up like, what is this? What is this? And he posted up, this is the patent for the virus. I was like, fool, that ain't no patent for the virus. Like I clicked on the link, the first thing it says, and it was like, okay. And I knew the link because I looked for the author's name. And I said, okay, I'm literally looking at, I'm at the table, and I'm looking at my notes right now, and that patent number that author is written on the paper. And I'm looking like, this fool just said they made that they patented the virus. I was like, no, it says technique, it says protocol, it says method. It says, in the Korean patent they have, it literally has the word remedy in the title of the patent. It's a remedy for DNA interference, which is like where you use a nonsense oligonucleotide, or morpholino, which is what you use to. Morpholino just means you're changing DNA function. That's it. That's all it means. A DNA morpholino oligonucleotide. That's all it means, is that you're using a piece of DNA sequence to change the virus, change how it functions. It might look the same, but it'll function differently. And so you might change the function where the virus forgets what it's supposed to do and it just gets flushed out of your body, for instance. That's like optimal. You want it to just like say, I don't know what I'm doing here. Let me leave, and then it just, it gets flushed out of your system.
Can we do that for Strags?
Huh?
Can we do that for Strags?
I wish,
It'd be great.
I'm working on it.
She's working on it. I was gonna say she's working on it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce. We got no Nicole.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to start.
Chaos, we can talk about it another time if you want as well. There's other things. I know that there's a lot of stuff that people are, concerned about. That was one of them. I don't know why they keep talking about Bill Gates. I don't care, but
Bill Gates is not doing what you think he's doing. He's
exactly,
especially not doing to here or to white people. I'll give you that hint. That's why he is in Africa doing it, and not here.
Yeah,
that should let you know.
That should tell you something.
It's not meant for you. Because to get rid of white people, you don't have to do that. They're already getting rid of themselves.
Yeah, that's what I always tell people. It ain't for you, boo. It ain't for you. So
you ain't shit, Nicole.
This ain't for you, boo. You need to look away, like look over there. Like my thing is when a dude rob you still standing there like, I can't believe you did that. You looking down at the ground. What you looking down at the ground? He done ran down the street.
You pretty much said my entire career.
You looking down like, why he robbed me? Oh man, he robbed me. Oh, we got to talk about this, man. We got to have an 8-hour stream on this man. He robbed me, man. He all the way in China somewhere. You already what? Please.
There was one guy. He was like jogging down the damn street. I was jogging, and this guy didn't rob me. I was like, wow, damn, you didn't run fast enough.
Right. God damn, I've been robbed before, and that shit got me cracking up.
What's going on, Sean?
Got Shot Talk in the house. What's up, man?
Yeah, I saw a notification.
That's good. Yes. Thank you.
Say what? Oh yeah,
thank you very much.
That's Nicole. It's not my stream.
You ain't getting no a long time with me.
No Coliseum. She got the tacos.
Nicole, it's nighttime. Like, trust me. You know you got 8 hours, and you could do the 8 hour stream.
Nah, she ain't built like that.
California.
She got her and her man
if
up
I
there.
do, I have to start at like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know how many chores and things I gotta do around the house, man.
Hey,
by the way,
Jason got his finger on
the like, come on, man.
Jason got his finger on the button as we speak.
While you play,
you have to.
Be like, I'm waiting for the damn tacos.
He ate the tacos already. No, sure.
No, they're gone. They're gone.
What'd you serve with it?
I didn't have really anything. He had his own beer, and I had some because I took the corn tortillas and I just heated them up myself. I didn't really have that much. He had option between he had the tacos, we had salad, and we had burgers. He could just build his own burger. So he's a grazer, so he wants to just try a taco, and then later on he'll eat a burger. And later on, he's picking in the chicken and stuff. So I don't know.
And then he's gonna get the itis and fall asleep, huh?
Yeah. I think I'll watch a movie. We watched that movie, The Five Bloods. That was good. That was really good.
Oh, The Five Bloods?
Yeah.
How'd you like it? I was supposed to watch it. How do you like it?
Yeah, it was good. It was it's Spike Lee. I didn't want to know who made it before I watched it. I just wanted to watch it straight out. But the concept, the pacing, the concept was good. Acting was on point. I'm gonna leave. I'll let y'all watch it. But two of the characters are good characters that I really like. So.
Okay. Yeah, because Dr. T said he wanted me to do a review on it, so I see how it is.
Yeah. Two of the actors in there are really good from previous work. Yeah. I think.
So what up, Charles?
I got a homework assignment for you.
What's that?
Homework assignment. Oh Lord.
I want you to see how. I want you to watch the movie Justice League Dark Apocalypse War and tell me all about the black pill you see in that movie.
The Justice League Dark
Apocalypse War.
Is that the one where they're ripping people apart?
Yeah.
We okay. We actually did that with us and Dr. Johnson. I do believe.
Motherfucker.
I think we actually did that. Dr. Johnson wanted to do it, so I actually watched it, and we had a whole stream with with me, Angry Man, and Artisan.
Yeah,
and
we gonna do a duo.
That's a cheat sheet right there.
he tried to find you. He couldn't find you, man.
Fuck. We need a duo.
But we did it.
So
this is one where Superman was actually he actually turned Superman into a weakling by giving him liquid kryptonite, right?
Yeah, but he was like, you know who stole the show in that whole movie was Constantine.
Oh yeah, he was funny.
He was funny as shit. And that's actually his character in the comics.
Remember when he called was Shark his ex?
Yeah. Well, he's historically bisexual.
Oh, okay.
Because you know where he started from. He started from Swamp Thing, from the Vertigo line.
Okay.
So he was always a kind of a dark character. Like if you ever notice how he looks, he's based off of Sting.
Okay.
So he has the whole accent, the hair, and everything, and he's very cynical.
Yeah. We did a whole review, but I can actually do a dark pill version of it. But yeah. Oh, you like the one I did with the Owlman and Batman, huh?
Oh yeah, because I thought I was the only one who got it like years ago, because it came out years ago. I was like, you know what's funny? I totally understood when he says the difference between you and I. It's like you looked at this, you blinked.
And you blinked. Yeah, you couldn't. You blinked. In other words, you had to turn away.
Yeah. And that's the only difference between a utilitarian and a nihilist, is that a nihilist says, fuck it, fuck it all, it doesn't matter, might as well just blow the whole thing up. And the utilitarian says, it's all fucked up, it's black, it's gray, but I'm gonna try to make it better.
I think that's Gino.
No, that's not me.
Oh, okay. All right. I think Dre's busy with his candygram.
Nope.
what kind of toy is that? Like,
hey, Dre, is it
making smoothies and stuff? What you doing over there?
No, as you know, I can actually listen for a time. I'm a motor mouth.
Hey, Dre, is it a candygram or a ronogram? Because there is a difference. Or does it matter?
She said, "What's the difference?"
A candygram is there because she wants to be. A ronogram is there because she has to be.
I gotta say this to Dre.
Right, a ronogram is because you have to be. Which one is it?
Okay, I'm
well, you heard.
I didn't hear what you say.
Say it again.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I thought you would say that. If you get an ex, or you get the young chick with like 3 kids and no place to stay, that's a ronogram.
She got her own place.
Okay, she's a candygram then.
And oh yeah, by the way, Drake. And by the way, Drake,
I learned from Gino what not to do.
Hey, before we wrap this stream, I got one quick question to ask you.
Yes, sir.
On the economical tip, do you think that they're going to try to extend those unemployment benefits?
They don't. Okay, I don't know about the unemployment benefits, but I do know they're probably going to have to do another stimulus if they can. If this wave that's going on in Texas and Arizona continues, they're going to have to do another one, man. Because that's
my prediction. This is commencement of phase 2, John.
Yeah, because they had to send like 500 nurses to Arizona because they run out of staff, and then Texas is actually running out of ICU beds as we speak. I was just looking at it.
Yeah, I'm looking at that for Riverside and New Delhi. I have the articles up right now. I was looking at them earlier. Riverside County, and then New Delhi, India. their hospitals are overwhelmed. Like in India, it's like they were saying like 99% capacity. Some hospitals, which is 100% because you don't want to get over 90.
Yeah,
at any time, right? But they're running out of not only supplies and beds, but they're running out of the people who would be cleaning the hospitals. They're getting sick as well, and they were thinking that I think it's like correlation between that and the different mutations that are occurring.
Yeah,
but they're going to have to give. I mean, this is just the beginning of phase 2. If you think about it, in 18 months, okay, we're going into phase 2 right now. So. I think they're just going to go ahead. It will probably be like August, maybe.
Yeah.
Because, or even earlier, because people are not going to be able to hold on much longer.
The biggest test that's going to come, and me, Dr. Johnson, even Art Newstar were talking about this, is are they going to send the kids back to school in September or October?
Right.
I strongly doubt it.
Well, we don't. What
if they checks in August, then they're more likely to send the kids back.
They don't send the kids back to school. They have basically either send the kids back to school, keep the mothers or whoever the parents are home from work, or you let the kids stay at home by themselves. Those are your choices. Which one do you think they're gonna pick? The biggest child care service in America is the public schools.
That's true.
We talk about upwards of like between 50 and 60 million kids. What do you think they're going to do?
My mom was sending a poll because they have to put polls out now. That's what they're doing now. They're not wasting their time. And the poll was like, do you want to do, it's 3 options. You want to do total e-learning, total class learning, or 50-50. Because if you do 50-50, then your students will come. She said they have to do like a summer school schedule where it's 4 days a week. Half the kids come Monday, Tuesday, other half come Thursday, Friday. The teachers get Wednesday, off, or they do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they get Friday off, something like that. And that way, they want to figure out how to break it up because if the parents choose that, and the school district will abide by that, because she said the kids are gonna have to come back, because unless they're gonna keep giving people checks, they got to go somewhere. And she said some kids at her school, this is they only get 2 meals a day. They don't get a meal at home. They get breakfast and lunch at school, maybe dinner when they get home.
Yeah, they've been doing Nicole. They've been giving the I know they call it EBT. We call it independence cards here. They've been giving away independence cards to the parents, to a lot of these kids.
Yeah, my grandson got one. He got, I think, he got like $60-$70 on his EBT card, or they call it a PBT card. Pupil.
Yeah, it's to help the kids, and then that's still a somewhat of that's still the babysitter, program, of course. But so parents really have no. I mean, it's like either you're gonna stay at home with these kids, and parents are gonna be like, I'm done. Send them little motherfuckers back to school, or you gonna send them back to school so you can work, so you can do what you have to do, and people are just gonna have to be, stop being stupid and wear their mask and do what they're supposed to do.
We'll see.
Stop being dumb, because if not, well, we're talking about on Patreon, because
let me know when you guys can actually do it, so I can actually know when to schedule it.
It's for me. Anytime this weekend, whatever.
Yeah,
just in the evening. That's like after 6 or 7 p.m. That's fine.
Just let me just email. Let me know when you can actually do it, and I'll actually schedule it for my Patreon.
All right.
Yeah, they sent me a thing today.
Huh? Thing for what?
They sent me a thing today saying about the schools. Are they gonna? They was asking like the parents, how do we feel? Do they want to do they want to open the schools up and give their opinions? Because I ain't gonna lie. I think school as we know it for next year is probably over with. They're gonna probably just do morely online and make us kids come to a certain amount of days a week. And they're already talking in some of the underperforming districts. They're already talking about that.
Well, it's really not a education problem, because you could continue doing what you're doing. It's a babysitting problem, because even if you do every other day, guess what? What's going to do the 2 days that or 3 days that the kids aren't in school, that you have to be at work? What are they going to do?
They're going to unfortunately, they're going to sit alone by themselves.
And that's we'll see. We'll see how it works. They haven't answered the question yet.
She was easier to contact trace. My mom was like, they're at school. You have all the kids there.
I mean, unfortunately, basically, I ain't gonna lie, that's what it's gonna be.
Hold on, Dre. What you said to go?
Well, I was just saying that she was saying that as far as contact tracing, that is not I wouldn't say not an option. That's not necessary at that point. The kids are at school. You know who the students are in the school. You know who the teacher is. She said, if anything, they really need to know. She said they need to know by the end of July what the parents want and present that to school district, the superintendent, school boards and everything. She's like, because they need to know what type of testing, because they're still not sure the type of testing to do on teachers. If you're coming back into school, you need to be tested. The sanitation of the school. She's like, some of the schools, they just left. Like, they were like her school, they were like, man, fuck it, I'm out. Like everybody, because they weren't required. There's no, like I said earlier, with what Charles was saying, there was no set protocol. They have to establish protocols now. And that's why she's asking the parents, what do you prefer for your children? Do you, and since it's hard to know with young kids being asymptomatic, it opens all these different cans of worms at once. So she said the main thing they want to know is, what is the protocol? Because that is legally binding. That's policy. And then you go from there. And she was like, if the parents don't want their kids coming, she's like, you may have 30 kids in the class. 10 of the kids come, once or twice a week. And then another 10 don't ever come. And the other 10 come all the time, So she said you have to make those adjustments. And she has a lab class. So those big, slate tables that they have with the, that heavy stone, that black stone they have, I think it's slate or something like that they use. But they have to take like half those tables out of the classrooms.
Okay.
To make so that it's social distance, and as far as the walkways and everything. So she was just like, it's very frustrating. In general, she's like, in a nutshell, it's just very frustrating, because she said, it's frustrating, but she's like, I'd hate to be the fool that has to write all these protocols.
Yeah.
Because it has to be statewide,
One thing I noticed in my studies on the economy, though, is that I noticed that they were talking about how the ADP kept adding payrolls per month, but what they're not talking about is that restaurants or whatnot, your lower level jobs are hiring people, but then they're firing them because the second wave is taking over. So I'm thinking like, the Republicans are pushing against the unemployment extensions, but I'm sitting back thinking like, okay, you have to do something, because if you give these people this lifeline and then you pull $600 out from under their feet when everything expires, people are going to riot in the streets.
Yeah,
because that's what's keeping bills paid right now. Now I can understand paying people 100%. Those who didn't make that much, I get that. I mean, you can remodify it, but to just remove the income cliff like that entirely, folks are going to riot in the streets.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the New York Times article in the chat so you guys can read it. It's actually called, what is it? In the COVID-19 economy, you can have a kid or a job, but you can't have both.
Yeah, that's all.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Thank God I ain't got kids.
And that's what I was about to say. You can have a kid or a job. You can't have both, because I already anticipate, because I talked to people about this, and they were like, you're going to have people that's going to be like, the kids are okay. They're in school. I got, and they're going to have to extend the time. So when you can come pick up your kids, it's not going to be like it was before, like, 4:30, you have until 4:30, or you have until 5 o'clock to get the kids. No, it's going to be some kids that's going to be there and just be there and be there. And their mom is going to be like, I have to work. I already anticipate there are going to be kids picked up by DSS. It's going to be a difficult situation because mom couldn't make it here. she's trying to decide between her kids and her job. Okay. That she just got back, or she just got, and lost the previous one. So that's what I'm looking at, that type of thing. And it's, I know it may seem like, people are like, this is fear porn. No, you better be thinking about all these different possibilities and try to come up with a solution to it. Yeah. Or if you know someone in that situation, try to talk to them and help them. Because it can happen. I mean, you can't, at this point, nobody, even the little conspiracy theorists or whatever out there floating around, I know they floating somewhere, waiting to bite somebody with their conspiratorial venom or whatever. They waiting. You can say all you want to say. At this point right now, where we are with COVID, all possibilities anything's possible. Like all possibilities on the table right now. Mm-hmm. Anything. Amen. Like I never thought I would ever be living through this particular, pandemic. And I ain't about to get emotional or whatever. But I never thought I would live through this type of thing. This is stuff you read about, and the things that you have what's called a clinic evaluation, and it's just a run through test, a training session. Mm-hmm. You have to run through all the possibilities and everything. Well, COVID checked off all the possibilities on that test. Shit. Everything that would have happened, and it was like so imaginary, like, this will happen, that'll happen, and in 2 months this happens, and I was like, they shut everything down, and I was like, hold up, I was like, this sounds familiar. Like when things were happening, I said, this sounds like a test we took, and it was a test I took years ago, and I was like, and I failed the shit because I was like, well, they gonna die, so we leaving. Like, I mean, that was they were like, you can't leave everybody behind. You're supposed to try to help, and I was like, help what? And so my team. But either way, I saw that, and that was like a real hard thing to recognize.
If you're in the military, you would think different.
Yeah, it's called triage because trust and believe. Yeah, if they're infected, look at what is the last ship. I think there's another good series about a pandemic. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard of that one. Yeah.
Damn, I need to put my free articles. Oh shit! Thank you for reading the Times. Fuck me.
I'll put it. I'll actually put it in PDF.
It's like you want your kids or you want your job.
Appreciate it.
We're going back to like the goddamn 20s and shit.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, like Nicole says, this little bugger could have been a hell of a lot worse than it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
It could have been.
Looking at it like, oh, Jesus Christ,
man. Because they designed it because the way they designed it, and for me reading, Nicole can correct me if I'm wrong. Most coronaviruses can't be transmitted by aerosol. They have to be transmitted by touch or by mosquito.
Yeah.
And this
most
is the first.
A vector.
Yeah, you have another kind of vector. This is the first one that can be transmitted by aerosol, which tend to let you know that this probably did not come from nature. And if they put a payload in this bad boy, this is probably the most perfect. Disease they've had since
I was like, man, this is
since the Spanish flu, probably.
Right.
They were talking about way back in February when I was watching this back in January. They were saying that there's a coding. I'm not a medical professional, so please, there's a lot of ignorance coming out here. But essentially, there's a couple of strands in it that's very reminiscent of HIV, which
In fact, the doctor, I think he was from India, I believe. He actually said that, and they made him take his work down, so you can't find it anymore. So
there were a lot of stuff out there I can't find anymore.
Yeah, they took it down.
I was like, well, I got access, and they were like, no, you don't, nigga.
It's clean.
I thought I had access from different accounts and stuff that I use, and codes and stuff. They were like, no. And I was like, because sometimes you hit a wall and you must pay to access it. I'm like, get all that. I put the code in, I'm good. But they were like, no, your code.
It doesn't exist anymore. So in fact, they'll say
it doesn't exist, or they'll say you need this. You need a different code to access this.
Yeah.
And then when you get the code to access it, they only show you the figures. They don't show you the written material itself, the text. itself. And so that's another problem too, because the figures are just figures. They don't give you, like, a lot of times they don't give you statistics that I need to know. Is this, if you decrease expression, did it decrease significantly, or did it just, was it just like decrease but not that significant? So it'll change, right?
Yeah.
I need to know that. And they just took a lot of stuff out.
They took a lot of stuff down. Yeah. Because right after that.
You don't need to show this.
Because a lot of stuff that, like I said, when I actually sent stuff to Nicole and she was looking at it, she was researching it, because she actually mentioned about the HIV strand, the component that was in there. And then 2 months later, it's not there anymore. In other words, they made the doctor take that stuff down. I think I was listening to either it was Crossroads by Joshua or China Uncensored. I think it was Crossroads by Joshua. He's actually saying that the Chinese and WHO made all these doctors from India and Australia and Japan cleanse those certain articles.
Yeah. Yeah, I think next year they're gonna have it. It's gonna be redacted though. So I mean, the articles will be coming back, but it'll be like worthless. So so it'll be, everything will be black, all black, and trying to read it, trying to understand what it says. It'll just be a figure, but no legend. So you're like, what is it trying to say?
If I had known it was going to be quite this bad, I'd have saved. I'd have saved everything. But I thought, it's not going to be that bad. I said, because we learned that from. I learned that back in the 90s. He said with the first 72 hours of an event, he said you go and you save everything that you can, because if you go back, it might not be there. And so sure enough, with this one, a lot of stuff is not there. So I got some stuff in my database, but not a lot.
Yeah, I should have sent the article myself.
And I was like, I was kicking myself, because I was like, man, I could have printed it out. I could have printed it.
I got one word for you, Nicole. Evernote.
Yeah, I know that, but I was like, at the time, because I was printing so many things myself. Yeah, Evernote, of course, but I was printing so many things of my own personal, personal papers that I was writing, and because I have 2 windows up, and I'm looking at my own work, and then I get bored with looking at my own stuff. So I was just like, oh, what's going on in science news? And I'm looking, and this was coming up, and I'm like reading the article and just really getting into one article after another, and I should have been printing them things every time I went from one window to another. I should have just been pressing print. Or it's because I didn't want to have it at my job. I would rather do Evernote at home. And I wasn't taking my laptop at the time. I was just using the desktop. So I'm looking at, and I'm like, okay, these are science articles. I should just print it. I would or just email them to myself or something. But nobody was thinking like that. Everybody was looking at it like, hey, let's study this sequence. Let's figure out what's going on.
Because we thought it would be contained in China originally. Thought it would be contained in China, but it didn't.
Yeah, I thought that it was like when I realized it was bad, I was like, okay, they need to, because we were having meetings for some reason, and I was like, we don't ever have meetings. Like, we just got back from Christmas, and we're just having all these meetings back to back. I was coming home telling him like, hey, this is the article about it, and this is what it looks like. This is what's going on. And it was like, and he asked me a good question. He was like, well, how do they know all this so fast? And I was like, oh damn! Like, I was like, you know what? You got a good point right there. You got a really good point. And I said, you know what? I don't know. I got to find out, And so I went from there, but it didn't scare me at first. But like Michael said, like his spider senses are tingling. Mine were like, you need to get this alone. Like, you need to figure out what to do.
Because as far back as I could trace it, they said this may have started as far back as maybe July or August of 2019,
right?
And it got out of control.
Yeah.
And
I think they had like a die down period, and then it just bounced back and came back because, that was one thing they were trying to trace in India was, if they had a die down period last fall, then when it reemerged, there was a shift in the in the transmission rate and mortality rate. Was there a shift? And if there was a shift, was it due to this new mutation they're talking? Well, not new mutation, but this common mutation they keep talking about, the D614G.
Oh yeah,
that mutation that is common. Did it occur after it reemerged in late fall, going into December? So that's what they're asking questions about, because microRNAs are mutated in some of those patients as well, and they were saying that is not normal, and that's not something that happens just very quickly. Right. It's regulated a certain way, and they were like, it could have been regulated because a person got infected late last fall and then got better and then reinfected. That could have been a reason. They don't know. And so in India, they're still looking up everything. But what I'm doing is any report I see on like they might say, the hospitals in South Dakota are becoming overwhelmed. I'm gonna look right to them hospitals and look at any research done in South Dakota.
Yeah.
And see what they got as far as mutations in South Dakota. If they say in LA, where somewhere in LA, like Long Beach hospitals, or Riverside County, or what's the other, Orange County.
Yeah, but
Orange County, their hospitals are overwhelmed. So I'm gonna look at Orange County. I'm gonna look at any research around it. They got plenty of places down there to do research at. Look around there and see, are y'all researching anything pertaining to these mutations? That's like the best thing I can do to narrow it down, because they're not all saying they're overwhelmed, but I think they're getting there.
Yeah, because what's going on in Arizona and in Texas is a strain coming from Mexico. Because they had visitors that go down to like southern Mexico City, Cancun, and they all came back to like Houston and Arizona, and that's when the outbreaks really started.
Yeah, I'm right in Houston, folks.
Houston is saying their hospitals are getting overwhelmed in Houston. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I've been watching it too. I've been keeping game down the medical center.
Oh wow, Houston, you got MD Anderson.
Yep, I'm all the way down in Houston. This is my quote unquote dream city. I came at a time where the whole city's getting their asses whooped. But
I'm about to ask you, because you got Houston. How far is Houston from Austin?
About 2 hours.
Okay, that's not bad. Okay, I have to look and see, because I have to see if MD Anderson has any work on the mutations. I'm sure they do already. Dr. Fauci mentioned the mutation, so I mean, it's not like a secret or anything. I don't want nobody come to my channel talking about conspiracy. It is what it is. Like, it's the mutation.
Yeah, 5G, man. It's 5G, man. What you talking about? It's 6G.
The Rona's not wearing this tinfoil hat, so the 5G is causing it to mutate.
Hey, BGS.
Yes, sir.
Reminds you what Richard Pryor said back in the day. Corona got some shit that'll scare shit out of penicillin.
Penicillin, yeah. Come on up in here.
I think everybody's wrong here. It's not 5G, it's 10G. Y'all tripping.
Well, actually, 5G caused it, but 6G is a remedy. They had to come out with 6G to correct the problem.
That dude killed me. He said, that dude from UK, you were like, okay, so basically you say 5G. You say 5G. And he was like, well, yes. Well, there's no other. Well, because it's a stimulant. I was like, nigga.
What be killing me is when
he said it so properly, though.
Yes. He was like, well, the virus is, because the virus is a stimulant. And you're like, a stimulant? What the hell? Like,
it be killing me with BG.
It's funny because I was sitting here like, he talking about caffeine. He trying to mix caffeine with a virus. Oh my God. Oh Lord.
Oh my God. It be killing me when BGS will open his stream and he'll do a one-on-one with some of these goofy conspiracy cats. And I be sitting there like, Lord, you can just hear BGS. You can hear it in his voice. BGS be trying to get the belt on these cats, man.
It was funny because he was getting like, the dude was getting frustrated. You were like, it comes from a tick. It comes from from a tick, a deer tick. It comes from a tick. And that's all I'm saying. I said, what the hell is he talking about?
Right.
He looked it up and he read it in the book. And he said it comes from a tick. I went, wow.
Lord.
My baby
he was talking about Lyme disease.
Yes, Lyme disease is very common when you're out in the woods and you're a hunter. Usually hunters, people that live in the woods. We always have risk of getting Lyme disease because we played out in the woods all the time.
Yeah,
a lot of pine trees, and you could get a tick on you, and that's the worst thing in living in the country is getting a tick.
Yeah,
a tick and a snake bite. Those are two things, but. He was just that dude. I was like, what is wrong with him? He just kept insisting, and he kept saying that, oh well, the electromagnetic waves and all that still causes it. It still makes it worse. So he
went from. So wait a minute.
He was so and wrong.
So he went from ticks to fucking Magneto. Oh, get the fuck out.
No, he went from 5G into to Lyme disease.
5G Lyme disease.
And I said, do you? So I asked him. I said, do you know how Lyme disease is actually spread? He said no. I said it's actually from it ticks from a spotted deer.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said no. I said no, man, go look it up, man. Lyme disease has been around for a long time.
Next time you hear that, Nicole. Next time you hear that, Nicole, you should be like, "Science, motherfucker. Do you understand it?"
Exactly.
That's exactly what she says.
I was like, "What the hell?" And I'm listening later, and I was like, "Oh man, oh." No. And then Valdez, shout out to Valdez, because he kills me. He comes on me. He's like, he was like, 5G is not the fucking same as a motherfucking virus. And I feel like that he said, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like in the background because I'm like, it's already, y'all already talked. And I'm like in my car, yeah, go Valdez, go. And then he was like, what? Oh, you're a moral. You're a moral. I was laughing so hard, like I had tears, like because you don't know that helps so much. Like when you're going to the job and you see like doctors, they're so upset and they're losing patients, and everything. And then you go to another facility, like you have to take samples. I have to take samples from one place to another, check to the place I work at. And then get the samples, drive it somewhere else, check in there. And I'm seeing doctors and nurses at places, and they're just like so devastated. And like just having something to listen to that's intellectual, but then he's like funny, stupid people in the middle, silly people in the middle. It helps. Like driving and coming home, it really helps.
Yeah, I keep telling you, man.
He said he blames Angerman for 5G.
I keep telling you,
it's
man. Blissfulness.
I did have 5G. What y'all talking about?
total bliss always benefits
last year we had 5G. Like we had 5G last year. I was like, because I told him, I was like, Jason, did we have 5G? He was like, hell yeah, we had 5G. That's why these niggas stupid. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because Jason's an engineer. Basically, they've been testing 5G for especially in LA for the last 3-4 years.
Exactly. He was like, we have it in my job. Like, what the hell? Like, what they talking about? We've been had it at the job before it was on the phone. Like,
yeah.
He was like, we didn't have this stuff.
Well, here's the thing, my sister. You see, the 5G from 3 years ago, it put the genes, the hyperpopulation genes, into your system, and then they amplified everything many years later, and that's why we all have COVID. Hotep.
You got to go through the uvula oblongata.
There you go.
And you got to go through the cerebellums.
The cerebellum, there you go.
The cerebellum and the serotonins. Who fight the Kryptonians?
And I get so mad. It's like these niggas that told me that I used to be a tax accountant, so I had some joker tell me the other day that those stimulus checks we got, that we're gonna pay them back in our taxes next year. And I said no, because that's not a tax credit. That's not considered income. Well, and he got mad at me because I checked him and was like, no, according to the definition, that's not considered income. So you're not going to get taxed on that. well, I know you're offending me. And I'm like, dude, and this is a 50-year-old man. And I'm like, dude, like, sir, you're wrong.
You know how offended you know how offended you sound with somebody you don't know? Imagine if you were in a relationship with a motherfucker saying something stupid shit.
Oh my god!
I'm like, man, if I knew you with this, I'm like, you. It took you 7 years to get a fucking 4-year degree.
Oh,
and you're an early childhood educator. Get your money back. Get a refund.
Chat, man. Who's got a wrench in the chat? Oh, somebody took it here.
Okay. I did it.
Okay.
I did.
And what makes it fucked up?
Oh God.
I know. Hold on. I got it. I'll get you to there.
Give me a brain fuck.
You looking at it? I wasn't looking at it.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh shit. Sorry about that.
I know nothing. But anyways, let me go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, the curse is on you, Judge, for bringing a candygram on a live stream.
Yeah.
The nerve of you Negroes.
What I was trying to say before I was really interrupted in the chat was essentially just as how offended as I was at obvious stupidity, I could see why the medical professionals get upset when they hear these conspiracy theories. That's what they are, conspiracy theories. And I was like, "Are you niggas?" Because I'm not a medical professional. I'm not. I have my sister. She is. I'm not going to sit here and check my sister or check Nicole or anybody else who makes medicine their career. I mean, you guys have spent what 12 years of studying to get into that area. I'm not. I don't have the balls to sit through 12 years of study. I think you guys know what you're talking about. Versus YouTube University cats. Anyway, let me chill.
We'll talk again. I can come back on tomorrow and have a stream. You know, it's cool. I'll probably put another video out tomorrow, so y'all look out for that. Just so, you know, my little debunk conspiracy theorist thing.
Yeah. And if you haven't subscribed to Nicole and you're here, please hit the subscribe button.
I got it. Nicole.
Yeah, we got it.
I got it. Yeah.
Why me? I ain't do nothing to y'all. If he gonna do it,
they said, well, West Coast, she would answer from the chat, except she's getting ready to go. So you got to catch her the next time. You guys coming in late.
This is disgusting.
Anyway, it's time to go. Here come the trolls.
Y'all have a good night. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right.
And they should have never gave you niggas 5G.
6G.
All right.
Man, all you need is a 10. All you need is my aluminum foil hats that I'm selling on. All you gotta do is send money to PayPal Judge Dre for your 10-4 hat. It blocks 5G and coronavirus.
Get out of here, man.
Put a C on it.
And look, it stops dumb cops from Baltimore who think they the shit from fucking with you.
Too bad it's not good enough to make. Too bad it's not made good enough to make Cleveland football teams win.
You ain't lying.
I'm out of here.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all. Peace. God bless.